Hey guys, Sean here. Welcome to the F1 Word and to the qualifying watch-along for the 2024 Italian Grand Prix. Yes, it is Monza qualifying day. One of the best of the season. Always enjoy this one. If you haven't seen the pinned comment at the top, first of all, hope you're all okay, by the way. Hello. Hey to Kiefer, hey to Bailey, hey to RC, to Alfie, to Annette, to David, to Corn, Dr. Jonty, to Sam, to myself, because apparently I put a comment in earlier, and to ATR, who was in touch earlier today. So thank you for tuning in, everybody. But yeah, if you did miss a pinned comment or miss a post on social media, the first half an hour of this is going to be, or 25 minutes really, is going to be about the news yesterday on the channel and any questions you might have about it. I'll go through that in just a moment. But don't worry, we will get to qualifying build up from around about 2:30. So again, about 20-25 minutes from now, and we'll get into qualifying proper. The session itself, of course, starts at 3 o'clock UK time. So about 54 minutes from now, if you want me to be really specific. There you go. Hope you're all having a good Saturday. Mine's been a bit annoying. My shop didn't turn up, so we've been angry at Tesco. So, you know, what can you do? What can you do? Yeah, so I'll do the announcement first. If you did miss it yesterday, I think most people, who are going to see it have seen it, but I'll do it anyway for the live stream. So, from the 1st of September 2024, this channel, the F1 Word, will become part of planetf1.com and the Planet Sports Network. I am so happy and relieved to be able to share that with you all. Finally, I've been hinting at something for weeks, if not months now, and I'm super excited to share that with you, and I cannot wait for what this means going forward. It's going to open up so many opportunities for the channel. It's going to enable me and the F1 Word to go to the next level. It also means that we've got this long-term, exciting vision. The future's secure for the channel. I'm really excited for what's to come, and I'm happy to share that with you. So, really pleased. There is an element of sadness with this, I suppose, because it is the end of the independent era. But as I said to people before, securing the channel's future was the most important thing. This isn't some kind of, as a few people called it yesterday, cash grab. It's not some sort of selling out. That's not what I'm doing at all. This isn't the same as some of the other channels you might have seen. I want to do this for the rest of my days. I don't want to go back to working in that supermarket. I was miserable. I want to keep talking about F1 with people like you, these fellow F1 fans, and this secures that for the long term, and that is the most important thing. I don't care about anything else that comes with it, outside of the support and everything else. I'm excited, and I think that's the most important thing. And most people as well, thank you so much for all your kind words yesterday. I said to Jonty, I expected such a backlash, but 99% of you have been absolutely bloody brilliant. So thank you so much for that. So if you've got any questions about what this means for the channel going forward, any concerns you might have that you want me to address, obviously I can't talk about everything, but I'll try and be as transparent as I can, as I always have been on this channel. So that's what we'll do for the next few minutes. But yeah, let's have a look at what you said. I've got a few questions in chat already, so thank you very much. First of all, Jonty wants to know, we'll go off on a light start here, wants to know where his consulting fee is. I did post you the check this morning, Jonty, and you can check that in at the bank. I believe I dated it for the 31st of December in the year 1 million. So there you go, mate. If you're still here in a million years, you should be good. You should be good there. Sam wants to know, can we get a sneaky hint about the new content you're excited for, or you're most excited for? Yeah, of course you can, Sam. I think overall, it's the being able to commit to being full-time again. You might have noticed that the channel hasn't had an awful lot on it in the last 18 months for reasons that some of you will know about and others won't, and I'm not going to go into it now. It was personal, but it's been a tough 18 months. But it's more about going full time and able to actually make the content I've always wanted to make. So, for example, if you go back long enough on the channel, and some of you've been here since the start, so you'll know what I mean. I used to do on a first couple of days of the week, on Monday, Tuesday, some sort of debrief or review or whatever. I'm not going to review the weekends anymore. I think that kind of content is pretty much dead. But it'll be great to be able to sit on a Monday and put together a post-race weekend analysis of some sort, whether that's, I won't do driver ratings, but whether that's, looking at the winners and the losers of the weekend, or the takeaways from the weekends, or conclusions is probably a better word, that kind of thing. I'm looking forward to doing that. Really looking forward to working with some of the great people at Planet F1. Some of them are really excited and want to be involved, so I can't wait to work with them. It's really about more content than specific types of content, but I'm excited. And I think having Planet F1 are accredited, they're FIA accredited, and they are on course to make that permanent next year. So having that kind of access to people actually on the ground will make such a difference to me. I'll be able to give you a quote that I have been given by Planet F1 or somebody at Planet F1 and not just go and pull it from another site. I'll be able to actually, get some maybe exclusive stuff out there. So that really excites me. So it's about the bigger picture rather than specific content type, Sam. But that's just being able to make what I want to make and what Planet F1 want me to make as often as I can. More content, and that's got to be a good thing. I think it's a good thing, and I'm sure most of you will agree. I just saw a question. Warden says, will you be the only host, or will there be other guest hosts that eventually become mainstay? Congratulations on the evolution of the channel. Thank you so much, Warden. Thank you for your support over the years as well, and to Sam as well. So I will be front and center. It's still going to be me hosting. I will still be in charge of the creative side of things. There will be people who will appear on live streams and things like that, as I've always had on here, but we'll have some new people, which again will have some access, which is going to be a huge benefit as well. I know a couple are really excited about the idea of being on, so hopefully we can get them on soon. But don't worry, we're still going to have John T. Stewart, Will, and everybody else who wants to be on this channel, who's been on in the past, is still welcome to be here. They're not stopping me having my own guests on, or the people that I pick from other content creators. So there's no problem there. But I think I would like, and we've sort of touched on this, but it hasn't really been confirmed, and they're sort of thinking about it, but I would quite like to have the odd video here and there where somebody else comes in and presents it, something that they want to make for the channel, but to add to what we already have. So if I was to do 3 videos in a week, and then somebody from Planet F1 who was on the ground over there thought, I'm going to do this video on what I've just been told by Lando Norris, and they want to put that out as well, it's extra content. So I would quite like that. I think that'd be good. I think evolutionary is a great word, Warden. I think that'd be a great way to evolve things, but I'm not going anywhere. It's not that sometimes hollow promise that people make when they do have their channel acquired. It's not that kind of thing, and I know I can say that until I'm blue in the face. The only way I can prove that to you is to just create the content and stick around, and actions speak louder than words and all that. So but it's not that kind of thing. I want to be here, and I'm so excited for what is coming up next. And everyone at Planet F1 and Planet Sport actually have been bloody brilliant, absolutely bloody brilliant, and they're really excited too. So that is great stuff. Very excited. We'll come to F1 related questions in a bit, definitely. When's the interview with Lewis Hamilton coming? Says RC. I'll call him later. We'll get him on the live stream, definitely. C64 says a lot of channels are sold out to these media orgs, and it's been the beginning of the end of what made those channels good. Is this the beginning of the end of the F1 word? As I just touched on, I think I've sort of already answered that, C64. That's a comment that's come up, and it's not. I'm not. A couple of people said sorry to sound negative. It's not negative. If you think I haven't had those thoughts and concerns over the last however many months, you'd be so wrong. That is definitely been going over in my mind constantly, that kind of thing, and what people might think of that. But I think I've kind of answered that. That's not an intention of mine at all. This isn't some sort of cash grab. This is about doing what is best for the channel, for me, and I believe for you guys as well. And I think that is where the focus had to be. I'm not going to go into the ins and outs of it, and I don't want to make it sound like it was the only reason I took it, because that's not what this is. But I couldn't guarantee the future of the channel beyond the end of this season, because that part-time work I was doing, that freelance work I was doing to kind of keep my head above water, that was rapidly becoming full-time, and the more I did that, the less time I have for the channel. So this, to me, this is the end of chapter 1 and the beginning of chapter 2, the next chapter, and hopefully the next chapter of many. So I'm not going anywhere, but as I said earlier, I can sit here for the next 4 hours and say that a million times. I'd have to be quick to get a million times into 4 hours, but I could still say it a million times over the next 4 hours. And the only way I can prove it to you is by sticking around and getting on with it. Not proving you wrong, but showing you that you've got nothing to worry about is all I can really say on that one. I can't, other than saying I'm not going anywhere, there's no more promise I can make than that. It's definitely not the beginning of the end. I think this is actually... it's the beginning of something new, but I also think that it'll be getting the channel back to lots more content, and that is the most important thing. One thing that I will say, actually, on the lots more content point, there is obviously an argument for quality over quantity. What we're going to try and do is find a balance between the two. So lots more content, but not to the point where it starts to affect the quality. So we're going to try and find it. So we might go a bit too far. We might not go far enough, and then we'll sort of try and find that right balance over time. I think, and it's been largely agreed, that as a minimum, probably starting from not this coming week, because I've got to go to the office on Wednesday and meet everybody, but from the following week, looking at least 3 pieces of content every single week. as a minimum, as an absolute minimum. Then maybe stick a live stream in, then some breaking news, maybe something else happens we want to talk about, and that's how we'll sort of do it. So a minimum of 3, which is, race weeks aside, 3 more than you're getting most weeks at the moment. So I mean, that's got to be a positive. Jonty says, one key point to remember with channels like WTF1 and Car Throttle is that they thought the brand was a strength when it never was. It was always the people, so the main people not changing F1 word. With the main people not changing, F1 word does not have that risk, is what he's saying there. That's a good point. I don't know if I can say this, but I'm going to say it. If I get ticked off later for it, then that's fair enough. I'm still independent today, so I'll put it out there. One of the things that they've been keen at Planet F1 to make me understand is that they know that acquiring the channel is absolutely pointless without me. They know that this is a fan channel, this is a community that we've built, and buying it, booting me out, they've bought nothing. It's pointless. So that's kind of something I wanted to kind of hammer home, is that they know the importance of that. And I think they're not stupid. They can look around and they can see what's happened with other channels, and they can say, hey, look at what they did and it didn't work. Look at what they did and it didn't work. We're not going to make that mistake. So again, it's talk is cheap, isn't it? At the end of the day, it definitely is. I've just got to prove to you that there's nothing to worry about, and that's the key. The key thing there. RC says it's basically the F1 version of the United Stand. I wouldn't go that far. I don't know if I'm offended by that. I don't know. But no, it's that sort of vibe. It always was. But this is about taking it to the next level. One thing as well, I'm never going to get any kind of access through the FIA to accreditation. There's absolutely zero chance. I tried it. Stuart tried it. We both basically got, not literally, but it felt like laughed out the door. It was never going to happen. So this is an opportunity for me and the channel to get a foot in the door as well. So lots of opportunities here, definitely. Any questions in chat? Key questions coming in. I might pop to the comment section in just a moment. Warren says, my big worry was instead of getting more content from other people, you would end up slowly taking more of a back seat. So happy to hear it's not going to be like that. No, definitely not. There will be an element of, I forgot my job title already. How bad's that? I think it's head of YouTube at planetf1.com. So I will be managing the channel as I have been doing anyway, but I will be in charge of the creative side of things. But every now and again, you might get something from somebody else, because I think that's a good thing. If I put, like I say, if I put out 3 videos a week and then 2 people from Planet F1 put a video out each, you've got 5 lots of content there. So I'm still going to be front and center. We're still going to do these live streams for the rest of this season. It will be previews on a race weekend Thursday. You'll get the qualifying watch-alongs, you'll get the race reactions, but then everything else around it as well, which is great stuff. I will say, I do keep saying until the end of this season. That's, if you go back and find a stream from a similar time, I've probably said the same before, I always like to evaluate things at the end of the year, and if things aren't working anymore, I used to make changes. I don't at the moment. I make changes, and that's what we'll do. We'll look back at the final 9 races of the year, especially with the season getting exciting, and go, right, what's working, what's not, let's make some changes, try something else. But that's another thing being part of planetf1.com will do, is enable me to take some risks. I've been having to put out content that I know works relatively well to keep the channel afloat and to keep paying the bills, which sounds really sad, I know, but it's true. And this will allow me to just take those risks again that I've not been comfortable able to take over the last sort of 18 months or so. So really excited for what's to come. I am. I keep smiling. I'm still nervous. I'm very nervous about it all, but of course I am. I've been independently working, self-employed for 7 years, so it's absolutely terrifying in some ways, but the excitement far outweighs that. So I can't wait to get started. Yeah, absolutely. Family is a good word, actually, Tim, as well as community. Family and community, I like that one. So we'll see a Sean Facecam in. That came up a couple of times actually in comments, which surprised me. There's always somebody else for Facecam at some point in the season, but I've got a few. I was talking to the managing director when we were going through all this, and he asked why I didn't do face cam, and I said nobody needs to see this ugly mug, which is true. But we did actually talk about maybe later in the year, or maybe from next season with the live streams, rather than having this, maybe some images a bit smaller, maybe have my face in there for live streams. Maybe if we start a podcast, we'll do face cam for the YouTube side of things. So I think face cam will become a thing a bit further down the line, but this year it's about getting the foundations in place and making sure everything's working, and I know what I'm doing and I know who I'm working with, making sure we get the right things in place for the future of the channel, and then we'll look at big change for next year. We really want to go full attack between now and the end of the year, but really full attack next year, because I think as things stand, it looks like 2025 might be absolutely epic. So being ready for that is so important. Thank you very much to Jake for your super chat, your first super chat. Thank you so much, Jake, for the support. Really appreciate that. It says, last chance to contribute. I got into F1 in 17-18 and you're a big part of getting me hooked. Thanks for all the good takes other than getting me hopeful for stuff. Sorry. Ready for what's next. Thank you so much, Jake. Yeah, obviously, super chats today, they will come to me. From tomorrow, super chats will go, let's say, to the channel and the channel revenue for the year, and that'll get, you know how these things work. You're not daft. But thank you so much, Jake, for your support over the last 17, 18. So you've been 6-7 years. Bloody hell, Jake. That's a long time. It's a lot. You're probably as mad as I am by now. But yeah, and apologies for the stuff. I can't let it go, but really appreciate the support. So yeah, like I say, get your super chats in if you want to, but I'm coming to chat anyway, so no problems there. Stefan says, hey Sean, hope you're good. Sorry I saw your Discord message and I haven't had a chance to reply. Keen for this next chapter of the F1 word. Anything you make I will consume. You'll crush it, my dude. Thank you so much, Stefan. Yeah, we're both dreadful, mate, at keeping in touch via Discord. Maybe we could try WhatsApp or something, and maybe we'll get back to each other once every 6 months. But no problem at all. Thank you for your support, mate, and for obviously the winter. Let's leave it at that. You know what that is. So thank you. I appreciate that. Joe says, we'll be fine as long as we have tyre talk time. How would we know what tyres exist without it? Exactly. And that, that was top of the list. I'm joking now, of course, been a bit sarcastic and tongue-in-cheek, but top of the list, I said, tyre talk, if you're going to get rid of it, forget it. Not quite, but yeah, tyre talk will stick around. For no other reason than, well, you guys enjoy it for one, but also I enjoy trying to come up with it every single week, 3 minutes before I start recording, because I've run out of ideas, and it always ends up being Max Verstappen has won the last 2. Can he make it 3 in a row? 3 is also, etc., etc. Because there you go. I still remember joining you when I was in my first year of uni. Now 3 years out of uni, been a long time. Bloody hell, that is a long time. Absolutely long time. Annette predicts that next year will be an absolute corker, definitely. Afternoon gang, got in late but have rewound to watch from the start. So happy for Sean. Thank you, Evan. Thank you for your message yesterday in the comments. That was lovely as well. And thank you for your continued support. Bought out by corporate just means being told what to say, what not to say, means worse, biased and untrustworthy content. If you've had that experience on other channels, I'm sorry, but that's, as I said to somebody else in the comments yesterday, what will dictate what I talk about will be Formula One. Nobody else will dictate what I talk about. Of course, let's be open about this. There's going to be a veto somewhere, but that's to stop me going on massive rants about how much I hate a certain driver and pushing an agenda or something like that. They're not going to stop me saying, this is my opinion on a race weekend. They're not going to tell me what to say. That's absolutely clear. I've got creative control in that regard. So there's absolutely no way somebody's going to sit there and say, you're not allowed to say this. It's as simple as that. So F1 will dictate what gets talked about. But obviously, if I start going on a rant about how much I hate people from Grimsby or something, then maybe they're going to come out and they might veto that. But it's nothing like that. If you think that, then I hope to prove you wrong. Will be the goal for me. So yes, I am going to read comments like that as well as positives, because that's only fair. Everyone's got a view of this and everyone wants to know what's going on. So I have to kind of alleviate those concerns. But my argument will always be, I'll try and prove you wrong, and that's the most important thing. Thank you to Stefan for your super chat. Says one final. That's gone. Why did that disappear? There it is. One final one for good time's sake. Spend it wisely. Thank you very much. I will try my best to spend it wisely. Appreciate that, Stefan. Thank you so much, mate, for your continued support. Darius says, good wishes for all the new channel stuff. One thing I really like about the channel is a guest for the race reaction. You do better with a person to bounce thoughts off of. You're not the only one to think that. That includes me. I feel the same as well. So, yeah, and like I say, I don't know why that picture of George Russell's there. It was in the top shots, by the way, so I don't know why I've got a picture of George Russell pouting, but there you go. Yes, as I say, Stuart, John T, Will, everyone that we have on this channel is always welcome to come back. So this isn't going to be a case if I can only pick from a pool of Planet F1 people, or I have to do them solo. I'll still have guests. So I love the race reactions bouncing off. But actually, to be fair, I quite like these as well. Just a day, a stream for qualifying watch-alongs of just a day, me and you guys just sat chatting and just us. I quite like that one. Yes, Annette. Yes. The the managing, I don't know if I'll ask to throw names around, but the managing director was very, very keen on the testing streams when I explained what they were and what we're doing with them and how we get onto all sorts of topics. And I said, will I still be able to do them? And it was very much a yes, definitely, because even on the random topics we get onto, like cheese or yogurts, or as it was the other year, robot wars, that's part of the character of the channel. So I'm still going to have that freedom as well. So that's great. He's going to spend half the budget on tyre talk brainstorming, says Dell. I'm going to hire a team just for tyre talk, Dell. That's the plan. Definitely. High quality waffle times when you're on your own, to be honest, says Mike. I enjoy them. I definitely enjoy them on my own. And Mike did actually ask another question. Will you be creating anything for Planet F1 that's not attached to the channel? Yes. The word's gone. Vertical video for their socials. That'll be something that'll be part of my job, I guess, now. Oh, God, I'm employed. That's terrifying. I'll have to get up before 2 o'clock in the afternoon. But no, yeah, it'll be vertical content for their socials and things like that. So yeah, I'll do not writing as far as I know. In fact, actually, I know that we've said the other day that I won't be writing, so that's okay. But yeah, vertical video. I'm not sure whether we'll be doing vertical video on the channel. I'm not a big fan of the short system. It brings you in quite a lot of subs, but that doesn't translate necessarily to views on longer form videos. People who subscribe for a 60-second video might not want to watch 2 hours of live stream. So yeah, we'll discuss that one. But yeah, definitely the vertical short form video on Instagram, X, or whatever, TikTok. I've logged into TikTok. I'm going to say it. It comes up every stream. I'm 38, right? I logged into TikTok. I felt 82. It was ridiculous. I was like, what on earth is all this? Crazy. Anyway, testing using a bit of Zelda or Hollow Knight is so relaxing, says Yinka. A few people game and do homework and things like that and coursework while they're watching the stream. So yeah, I try to waffle as much as possible to keep people entertained. Yeah. There was something I was going to bring up as well that somebody else mentioned. The channel name. Somebody asked about the channel name. So there's been none. I'll say this straight away. None of this has come from a certain management company that owns Formula One, sending me any kind of letter or attacking the channel or anything at all. Definitely not. The plan at the moment for the branding is that we will start to introduce Planet F1 colours to the channel, which a few people are happy about because they're not happy with the red. Some of you love the red, some of you don't, and some really don't care what colour it is. It's about the content, not what colour the graphics are or anything like that. So yeah, we'll move towards that. There will be a new logo, but that's a little bit further down the line. And then there's probably going to be a new name at some stage. We haven't decided when, but mainly because we know that as soon as Planet F1 go for full permanent accreditation next year, FOM are going to go, can't use Formula 1, like they do. And so there's probably going to have to be something there because they've got to stay on the right side of FOM in that regard, obviously. So, yeah, that'll be something we discuss further down the line. But I'm not too fussed. We're going into a new chapter now, so I don't mind if we have to change those things. I'm quite comfortable doing that. If it keeps FOM off my back, that's a bonus as well. But I think, as I just said there, the colour of the graphics, the name of the channel, it's about the content at the end of the day. That's not the most important thing. It's still me. And that's it really. Yeah. So what's the new biscuit budget? Will you get top level talent like chocolate covered custard creams? Is that a thing? Alfie, you lie. I don't believe you. Have you just made that up? If that's genuine, confirm in chat. I'm going straight to Sainsbury's after this stream and I'm buying chocolate covered custard creams. A budget is 1.5 million a week for biscuits. That's been confirmed. Is this a ploy? Are you really leaving to take the spare Sauber seat? Yeah, I'm sharing it with Kimi Räikkönen next year. We're going to share that together. He's there thrashing it out today for me. He is. I was going to check. Yes, that was the branding. There's one other question that came up that I did want to address, just because I thought a lot more people have a lot more questions, but I think the video explained everything quite nicely, and I think the fact that most have been so supportive is just, and by most I mean like the video's had 250 comments and there's like 6 people who have been a bit about it, so I'm not too worried about it. I'm sure I might be gone. I have to say it's quite overwhelming actually when I was going through these yesterday and reading them and replying to them all, and in a good way. So we've done the face cam thing. We've talked about the brand briefly. Talked about everything else. addressed the point about selling out. That's not what this is at all. To me, selling out is taking the money, running away, and never looking back. I'm not going anywhere, and it's as simple as that. And it's yeah. I don't want to get into that. It's a bit negative, but I understand why people are making that point. There's been a lot of that, and not specifically in the F1 space either. There's been a lot of that around YouTube in recent years, hasn't there? So I understand why people are concerned and skeptical. But yes, I can't find it. It might pop up in chat. But were you surprised how many lurking supporters you had? Yes, Stefan. Actually, I was. I said yesterday to a partner, I was joking. I got 200 odd comments. I was like, so all I had to do was join Planet F1 and I get all this engagement. Damn it. James says just a couple more and then we will get into the qualifying. Don't worry, it's 1:30 now. So hiya, says James. Hi, James. Says congratulations again. Will we see F1 race and practice watch-alongs? Qualifying watch-alongs, definitely to the end of the season. Again, as I said last week, it all comes down to performance with these. If they do well, we'll keep going. If they don't, then we won't. Not sure about race ones because I like to watch the race and come and react. I don't feel like I do reactions and watch-alongs because I'm not really paying too much attention then. So that's that one. And that was practice watch-alongs. I don't see much value in, to be honest. So no, not on practice watch-alongs, but I might do the odd one here and there just to go live to chat with you all and keep the community vibe going. And that's, this was your passion project. You'll never leave us. Exactly. One more. So apparently, milk chocolate custard creams are a thing. There you go. £3 for M&S. Wicked. Well, then there you go. I'm going to M&S. It's literally over the road. So yes. Any more questions before we move on to quali? Because I think we probably need to get onto that now because Noel's asking when quali's starting. Half an hour, Noel. We're just answering questions about the channel announcement. I'll be back to F1 stuff in probably about 15 seconds. Just going to check and see if there's anything I missed that's not been asked already. But I will say again, to wrap this bit up then, just thank you so much for all your support. Like I say, it's been so overwhelming the last day. I honestly thought there'd be so much more backlash. Pretty much everybody has said, congratulations. They're excited for what's next. And I hope that that you enjoy what's next. And I can't wait to share it with you. And I can't, we've done 7 years independently. We've built this incredible community. It was a reminder of that as well, what an incredible community we've got. And then here's to the next 7 years. Let's go for it. We can do another 7 years easy. I'm only 38. I want to retire on this. So let's do it. I can't wait. Very excited. Quick drink so we can pause for a timestamp so that people know when to jump in. So let's get on to quali then. We've done the Q&A there. Thank you very much for all your questions. And I'm happy to answer any more if you've got them. Pop them on Twitter, anywhere else. No problem there. But we are going to get on to qualifying now. We are just under half an hour away. Good stuff. As always, I'll say it right at the start of this part. No on-track footage for what I believe are very obvious copyright reasons. Some people don't quite grab that, but there you go. Lifetime will be provided by Multiviewer for F1, of course. Check them out. Links in the description. Customize your viewing experience with an absolute crap ton of data if you want to. It's madness how much you can do. I really like them guys over there. So please do go and check them out. We'll do the FP3 results as well. He says, having just literally this second closed the FP3 results because he's a genius. So if you missed the morning session, Lewis Hamilton, I think he was P1 yesterday in Q2 as well. So in P2, sorry. He was P1 today for Mercedes on a 120.117. George Russell made it a Mercedes 1-2 this morning on a 120.210, less than a tenth of a second between the two Mercs there. Charles Leclerc, Ferrari 120.2, just over a tenth behind Hamilton. Oscar Piastri was 4th and Lando Norris 5th. Very little between them, getting on for a tenth and a half of the fastest time. Max Verstappen 2.5 tenths off in 6th place on a 120.3. Carlos Sainz 7th at 120.4, 3.5 tenths off. Alex Albon and Franco Colapinto 8th and 9th, 120.5 and a 120.9. Colapinto yesterday, I believe, was about a couple of tenths off Alex Albon. So at the moment, first of all, Williams looking rapid this weekend, but also Colapinto not too far off Albon at all for his first weekend. Quite impressed with him actually so far. Nico Hulkenberg round out the top 10, 8 tenths off for Haas. Fernando Alonso was 11th with Daniel Ricciardo in 12th place. Yuki Tsunoda in 13th. Is the first to drop just over a second off the pace. So a second really separates the top 15, 16 drivers. So it's super close out there. Pierre Gasly 14th, Lance Stroll 15th, Kevin Magnussen in 16th place. Stopped on track at the end of the session for some reason. Not sure why. I'll have a look at Twitter in a moment. Esteban Ocon 17th, Sergio Perez 18th, Valtteri Bottas 19th, and Zhou Guanyu in 20th place. If Pascal's here or pops in later, give him a hug, because I think it's going to be a miserable day for Sauber again by the look of it. Not great at all. Yeah, I think Colin Pinto actually has done a pretty good job so far. It's very early days, obviously. First full weekend in F1. He did FP1 in Silverstone, didn't he? So he has been out there before, but not for a proper full weekend in that seat. And to get as close as he has to Albon, particularly yesterday, I think that's impressive. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he does going forward. For the rest of this season, 9 races he's got, so looking forward to that one. Where can we see the sector times on such a website or YouTube? I'm newish to all this. I'll have a screen for the watch along shortly that will have some data on it. But if you go to the F1 website, they've got live timing there. There's multi-viewer for F1. Quite a few websites do some sort of live time, but I think they're the best two, really. F1.com and multi-viewer for F1. They're definitely the ones to check out for me. So yes. A crap ton part of their ad read. Yeah. that's the official line we use now, Mike, for these things. It is, yeah. Other news today, by the way, if you hadn't caught it, I'll let you know. It might come as a shock if you haven't caught the news, because there's been no hint of this at all. Andrea Kimi Antonelli, it's confirmed, will race alongside George Russell next season at Mercedes. I'm going to give you a massive understatement here. Not a great start to time at Mercedes yesterday with the crash, but prior to that, apparently they were really impressed with his pace. He was fastest initially, wasn't he, on that early soft run. He was looking rapid and he was pushing hard, but pushed a little bit too hard, and then off at parabolic ring in a fairly hefty shunt, but didn't do too much damage to the insides of the car. So George Russell was able to continue for the weekend without penalty or anything like that. But yes, he's been confirmed as a driver. Mercedes were impressed yesterday with what they saw, and apparently Toto Wolff has said that he'd made the decision to go with Antonelli within about 5 minutes of Lewis Hamilton leaving, which there's probably a really easy answer to this, but kind of begs the question, why are we here in September and only just finding out? I assume there are a number of reasons, including one, they wanted to just make sure. Number two, messing about with Max Verstappen and hoping he might come, so I'm not sure the decision was made. 3, he's only just turned 18, so probably waiting for that. And 4, it's Italian Grand Prix weekend. So if you're going to announce an Italian driver in one of your cars next year, you do it at Monza. It's as simple as that. So, yeah, it was just quite amusing when you look at all the flirting that's been done with signing Max Verstappen this year, that Toto's saying decision was made. But, yeah, not quite so sure. I think on Antonelli, there is something there. I'm not going to hop on the hype train because I think it's way too early for that. There was a lot of pressure on him yesterday. A lot of people in his face before he went out on track. I think Ted Kravitz said he's seen nothing. This is something he's not seen since the Schumacher days or something like that is what he said. So a little bit, everyone all over Antonelli all day. That's going to get to you, isn't it? Whoever you are, it's going to be pressure. But my concern, as I've said all along, is it's just so. It's all happened so quickly. And Stuart messaged me earlier, actually. He said, I wonder how George Russell is feeling, having to do 3 years at Williams, and Antonelli just hopped straight into the car. But it's a fair point. But yeah, no, I'm a little bit concerned it's a bit too quick. But obviously Mercedes believe in him. It is a risk, of course it is. There's no denying that. In fact, I think they've said as much in the past, that taking a bit of a risk and trying something bold. I'm just worried it's too early. It's not an age. I've always said it. If you are good enough, you're old enough. If you're good enough, you're young enough. It's as simple as that. So I don't believe in this. We have to cap it at certain ages. I think, obviously, maybe draw the line at a 12-year-old, for example. But you know what I'm getting at. I don't see the problem with young drivers coming through like Antonelli at 18 years old. Even if he debuted at 17, it wouldn't be a problem. But it's skipping F3 straight to F2. F2's been a difficult year for one reason or another. Hopping straight into a high-pressure seat, which it is. It's a Mercedes seat, full stop, but also you are taking the place of a 7-time world champion. By the way, don't know if this has been mentioned anywhere else. It dawned on me earlier. Kimi Antonelli is not the first driver we call Kimi who replaced a 7-time world champion. Just saying. It came to me earlier. I was like, oh my God, what are the chances? And apparently he's going to use the number 12 next year, but Jack Doohan wants it. So if he doesn't get the number 12, he'll be using the number 7. And guess who was the last driver to use number 7? Kimi Räikkönen. So it's all about the Kimmys. It's all about the Kimmys in F1. An absolutely useless stat there that means nothing to anybody, but I'm telling you anyway, and I don't care. But yeah, no, let me know what you think about the Antonelli move. I'm happy for him, and I'm actually really excited to see what he can do. But again, it just all seems very quick, and sometimes that works in sport, and sometimes it doesn't. So we'll see at the end of the day, won't we? That's ultimately what happened. We'll see next year. If he's absolutely dreadful, they've not really lost anything, have they? I suppose they could maybe see if he can get a seat somewhere like Williams or somewhere else in the future. If they're not sure, if he doesn't win the F2 title, they could always move him back to there, which might seem harsh, but that might be an option for him. They could do development for a year and give him some time to bed in, but it's very quick. It's very, very quick. Askelarden? I'm terrible with names. What harm can it do? They already have a great driver in George, so even if it takes 2 to 3 years to get up to speed, George will be doing a good job until then. That's another point, actually. There, you just said about the 2 to 3 years. I still think if you're going to put him in, if the plan was, which it sounds like it was, to put him in 2026 anyway, in many ways, putting him in next year means he gets a year to get up to speed, to learn the calendar, to learn the tracks, to learn how these cars are going to handle, to get used to racing in Formula One and everything that comes with that, the pressure, the press, everything like that. And then 2026, he's bedded in, he's settled, and that's when he can go for it with his new regulations. So, if the plan is to put him in 26 anyway, I still think it's the right call to put him in now, but it still does feel really fast. Yuki Tsunoda came through quite quickly, though, didn't he? I know we're comparing two very different drivers there and two very different teams, but he came through quite quickly and had a difficult start and has definitely improved. So there you go. It's not used to start between the Kimmies. It's a Croft yes stat. I wonder if he'll bring it up sometime in the near future. Maybe. Oh, don't put my level Crofty. That's terrifying. Kimi is not the first Italian F1 driver with a Finnish former racer's name, which is weird. Jarno Trulli. Says Dell. Sorry, Jarno Trulli, is it Saarinen? Saarinen? You know who it is, Dell. You know. Confirmed that Kimi has the number 12 from Autosport, according to Sam. So there we go. That's that sorted. And Andrew says, I think he'll be fast but crash prone. I'm just going to go check that. Not that I don't believe you, Sam. I'm not calling you a liar. Don't worry. I just want to see if anything's being said on that one specifically. But I know the talk was that he wanted that number, but Doohan wanted it. So maybe you'd have to go with something else. But no, it's confirmed, yeah. 2 hours ago. Keep up, Sean. Andrea Kimi Antonelli has beaten Jack Doohan in taking race car 12 next season after both set their sights on the same number. The number would belong to Felipe Massa, of course. Let's have a look. What's Doohan going to do? Sorry, I'm going quiet now. I don't like going quiet when I'm trying to read things on stream. So Colapinto's 43. Yeah. Nothing hit. No word. Oh, I can't see what Doohan might go with. Maybe he'll take the number 7 then. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there. It's too early to expect him to be challenging Russell from the get-go, which no reasonable person should. Absolutely agree. It was so strange yesterday, and I know. It's X, it's Twitter, whatever you want to call it. But it was so ridiculous that yesterday he had that crash, and then you shouldn't do it, but I search his name. You hop into the latest and it's all like, oh, I thought he was a future world champion. Oh, look at that. He's not so good. And you're like, oh, shut up. He's 18. He's 18. He's just got in a Mercedes for the first time in an FP1 session, and he's crashed at Parabolica, which no one's ever done before. I mean, come on, back off. That's the sort of thing that really grates. It's the same with football and all sorts. It really grates somebody that does. Give people a chance. If he does that every single time he gets in the car, we'll have a conversation, but not his first time out there. And given the pace he was going for, I'd rather see him push. Yeah, you need to build into it. I get that. I do. But let him get on with it. He's a racing driver. Massa is another person than Felipe Massa. Okay, I've missed something somewhere, I think. There we go. By the way, incredible Ollie is P15 in both F1 and F2. Is he? That's an odd stat. I like that one. It's insane to think we may get 3 Aussies on the grid next year, says Stefan, for it's such a European-dominated sport. Yeah, you've got Aussie P. You've got Jack Doohan. Possibly Daniel Ricciardo. Yeah, no, it will be 3, won't it? That's impressive. That's impressive. I don't know what the collective term is for that region of Australia and New Zealand. I think Martin Brundle said it last week, so I don't know what it is and I can't remember, so I'm not going to say anything in case I offend someone. But from that area, that region of the world, you throw in Liam Lawson as well potentially, and that's quite a chunk of the grid well represented. Oceania, that's a good word actually. Full stop. Forget everything else. That's a good word. Full stop, Stefan. I like that one. Once you become dominant, you seem to be. Oh, I'm not gonna. That's a conversation there. Hey Clay, good to see you. Hope you're okay. Do you think Red Bull were using asymmetric braking? I don't. My technical knowledge is limited. Let's put it that way. But from what I've read, from what the FIA have said, and of course we all know we can trust everything the FIA say. But from what the FIA have said, nobody was using it. It was just closing a loophole so nobody could use it. So I'll say no. But I'm sure there are plenty of conspiracy theories out there that might that might say otherwise. Definitely. We will be getting to qualifying shortly. 15 minutes till it starts. So in about 10 minutes, we'll head over to the qualifying watch-along page, let's say. Or screen would be a better word than page, definitely. I think this week, so sort of talking predictions, let's look ahead to that a little bit now. But talking predictions, I went with Max Verstappen for pole because I truly believed coming into this weekend that it might suit Red Bull a little bit more than McLaren. Not massively, you know, we're talking thousandths of a second here and it could go either way. And I thought with the heat, Mercedes might be in trouble. But it looks as though the battle for pole based on today, and of course that's only one practice session, and you can look at yesterday as well because Max Verstappen did top FP1 and didn't get a proper second running, I think, on his softs in FP2. But it does look as though we've got, at the very least, 3 teams going for pole, probably 4. So that's quite an exciting session. It looks really, really close out there. So let me know who you think at this stage is going to get pole. And then we'll do it again just before Q3 so we can make the final predictions there. But I said Verstappen on Thursday. I'm less confident on that today. Mercedes are much quicker than I anticipated. Ferrari's update looks good. Some track specific stuff as well. So I'm going to go for what for me would be a surprise Lewis Hamilton pole. A surprise one. I say that, but also Norris, Piastri exist. The Ferraris look quick and Red Bull, and specifically there, Verstappen can very, very easily just turn around and stick in a mental lap, can't he, and shock us all. I thought he'd nicked it last weekend. When we were watching it live, I thought that lap he put in, I thought, oh my God, where's that come from? Great middle sector. And then Lando Norris turns up and goes, and there's 3/10. And that was the end of that. So, hey, Max, I hope you're having a good one, mate. Good to see you. Thanks for taking Jaden, by the way. Appreciate that. Good riddance and all that. Leclerc first, Piastri second, and Norris third is what Letox is saying for a prediction there. I mean, yeah, technically true. Kimi has, in fact, absolutely true, has crashed in 100% of his FP1 sessions. That's absolutely true. So fair enough, but we'll see. My prediction, Sargeant won't qualify for the race. That's a bold call. I'm going to go with Colapinto, by the way, I said shock P2. Q2, sorry, not P2, bloody hell. Q2 on Thursday. I'm just wondering, looking at the Williams pace, if he can get a toe, rock everybody with a sneaky Q3. Stefan's on the same page. He's just said it there. Look, a cheeky Q3, like by a couple of hundredths of a second, scraping into 10th place. That Williams is rapid. I'll not get too excited though. A lot of people got quite excited last year when a certain Nick De Vries hopped in the car at Monza and put in a mega performance. And yeah, but I'm going to root for Colapinto pretty much all year now. I want him to have a really good end to this season. 9 races. He's not going to be in the car next year. He probably won't be on the grid next season. But it's an opportunity for him. And I hope that it opens up some doors elsewhere. IndyCar, for one, is the one we always go for. So, was it? No, year before. Sorry, Dale. Yeah, it wasn't last year, was it? Time has moved on. It all happens so quick. If Tom had made the same mistake, that's all right. I'm in good company. But yeah, no, it's the years just all merge into one for me now. So I'm going to get that wrong. But yeah, no, a couple of years ago now, because he raced there last year and got dropped, didn't he? So that'll be why. So yeah, there we go. You know what I meant. Hamilton for pole, says Grath52. And Rossi says, I think it'll be Hamilton, Sainz, Norris if nothing goes wrong. Lol, Monza. Yeah, I remember a few years ago the slow race to the line because nobody wanted to be first. Most of them not getting over the line. That was absolutely hilarious. There's been similar things going on this weekend in, I think F3, Jonty was saying, was a bit of a clown show for their qualifying. So I hope F1 don't do that. But the toe is going to be so important today. It's worth so much around Monza because you've got that massive straight. There's Curva Grande, you've got the run to Ascari, so any toe you can get is probably going to gain you. With the field being so close, it could literally gain you a position, maybe more. It is one of those tracks, so that's going to be the battle today. We're watching for the toe. We'll keep an eye on the driver tracker and things and see who's trying what, but I'm looking forward to the inevitable arguments over the radio about who was supposed to be first, who's supposed to be towing whom, and all of this business. It's always great fun. The moaning on the radio, we love it. Warden's top three, Perez, Stroll, and Zhou. Warden's on the sauce. Scully says Leclerc pole. I love a Zhou third, by the way. But yeah, Leclerc pole for Scully. Adam's gone with a Perez pole. If anyone needs a pole position right now, it's Sergio Perez. So hopefully he can do that one. I get the feeling it's going to happen. It will be at Monza. Says Stefan Colapinto Q3, that was. Yeah. I think Zhou top three. I mean, Sauber looked rapid earlier in the weekend, but they just seem to have fallen away again. I'm not convinced they'll be getting out of Q2, out of Q1, but you never know. Morning, Michael. Hope you're having a good morning so far. I'm nearly 3 o'clock here in the UK, so I'm into my day now. But it's been average. It's been average. Yeah, I'm not going to say that one. Perez P8 is a sure bet. Do we think Perez P8 today, or are we going to go higher with that one? I think we go higher than that for Checo today. I'll say top 7. I'll say top 6 for Checo. With a storming lap out of nowhere. Gets a toe off somebody wants supposed to and sneaks in. Safe Plum says Hamilton, Norris and Russell. Sad Mariners fan who's not from Grimsby said, good morning, Sean. Congrats on the partnership with Planet F1. Thank you so much, mate. And thank you for your support over the last few years and going forward, of course, as well. Thank you very much. 9 a.m. where Michael is. So there we go. Yeah, I don't do 9 a.m. if I can avoid it. I'm going to have to, but I don't enjoy it. 2019 Q3 car park. Remember, Sainz was one of the only ones to actually make it over the line in time to get a lap in back then. That's from Rossi. Good memory, that one. I remember was it Hulkenberg going straight on at the chicane to try and let people through? Absolute fustercluck. Yeah. Part of me wouldn't mind seeing that again because it's just funny. But yeah, not ideal. It makes F1 look stupid, doesn't it? Which it doesn't always need help with, to be fair. So we'll leave it there. If someone told me the 2024 race winners would look like it does instead of all blue Verstappen, I would have laughed you out of the room. Mad season. Agree. Absolutely agree. I've said it so many times. I thought, Verstappen nailed on for the drivers. I still think he's going to do it, but it's going to be much closer and not as comfortable as he thought it was going to be. But mid-season, really before it all kicked off, I thought Red Bull had this in the bag. When you look at those first 2 races, 1-2, 1-2, it looked, I'm not testing the mic, don't worry, I'm just, 1-2 finishes in a row. It looked dominant. It looked ominous, didn't it? And looked like we're going to dominate the season. And then we come into this point and it's like, oh my God, what are we going to do? We're not used to this competition. It's been a while. I'll always say I appreciate dominance for what it is. I think Red Bull did an amazing job last year. I mean, that's understatement, I suppose, as well. I mean, what an achievement, winning all those races, literally almost all those races. Even the back end of 2022, the pace they had. But it's good to have some competition at the front. As much as I don't mind the dominance, and as much as I like Max Verstappen, as I keep banging on about, it's nice to see a bit of a fight at the front and see a McLaren up there. There's something about it for me. Just seeing McLaren resurgent, it gives you hope for teams like Williams, doesn't it? That maybe one day they'll get it right. And I think James Vowles is going to do that. I know. For some people, James Vowles is not going to be a very popular man today or this weekend, given his comments about Mick Schumacher. He's come out to clarify them, by the way, and explain what he meant by that. He's not the kind of driver that's going to be like a Senna or a Michael Schumacher or a Lewis Hamilton, but it wasn't worded well and it's upset certain people. I was just going to say, if there's one thing I've learned over the last week, and been shocked about, actually, really, it's just how many fans Logan Sargeant apparently has. That's not shade. That's not me being an a-hole about it. I'm not saying he shouldn't have fans. I didn't realise so many people supported him and liked him. I thought he was just one of those drivers that was there and people didn't dislike, but didn't really rate all that highly. But apparently a lot of people really liked him and thought he was doing a great job. So, do you know what? Each to their own. That's what I'm going to say at that point. I would appreciate if we'll have a below 20 points Red Bull lead over McLaren after this race. Says Letox. Yeah, no, I think McLaren, mathematically they can take it, can't they? The lead of the championship tomorrow rather. So it could happen. I can't see, unless Red Bull do feel they need to get rid of Perez and make a change, and whoever comes in does a better job. I can't see anybody but McLaren winning the constructors. Verstappen, I still think will win the drivers, but there's definitely a fight. There's definitely a fight. Hey Anushka, good to see you again. Hope you're having a good Saturday. Ready for qualifying. The music is kicking on, or kicking on. So I'm going to start doing my infamous now for these watch-alongs, trying to do two things at once whilst looking at chat and running a stream and talking to you all and getting everything set up. So people just want to complain, go back in their post history and they'll be calling Sargeant worse than Mazepin. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's the same in it's another thing that's the same in lots of sports, isn't it, Dale? You get people who will turn around and say a footballer's dreadful, but then you'll read their tweets and he's the best thing that's ever bloody kicked a ball. People are weird. It's for me, it's trying to separate out a genuine opinion versus someone who's doing it for clout, as they say on social media. There's a lot of that, and I think the Sargeant stuff. So don't get me wrong, some people will genuinely really, really like Logan Sargeant and support him, and that's absolutely fine. That's not a criticism. You can support whoever the heck you want to support. It's, you know, the beauty of being human beings. We have independent thoughts, or some of us do. Leave it. Not being awful, but it's true. Some people really are interesting. Let's put it that way. But no, you're right. Ignore it. It's probably the best thing to do there. Yeah, Colapinto's in the intro now. I know that one. Right, we're going to go to the screen now, and we're going to find out if this is what has Sean set this up properly. Place your bets. Oh, look at that. First time. That never happens. That absolutely never happens. I just need to refresh that. I can't do anything else about that one. Track map, perfectly placed. Look at that. Some applause. Come on. Give me some love for that. I never get it right. I'm expecting some love now. Terrible. Yes, we are just about to get started for qualifying. You'll start to hear some weird noises now as I reposition the mic and myself to look at the screen so I can see what's happening. The live timing should be synced to the TV, so you should be getting, if you're watching at the same time as me, obviously you're delayed anyway because of the wonders of YouTube, but you know what they're like. Thank you. So some applause for my brilliance of just being able to, after however many of these I've done over the years, finally getting the track map in the right bloody place. You think I've nailed this by now, wouldn't you? Unless you've watched the channel for a long time, then you'll know there's no way I nail anything. It just always goes wrong. So there we go. Great to see the Tifosi out in full force, as always. Grandstands were a bit empty yesterday. Is that always the case at Monza? Is it one of those tracks where they do get it wrong? Or do not get it wrong? Sorry, I'm reading two things at once there. Do tend to have empty grandstands a bit more? I don't know, but it was a shame, but looks packed now. Yeah. Max is like, God, I bloody love Monza. Completely agree. One of my favourite qualifying sessions of the year as well. Because it can be quite bonkers, can't it? Michael says you get there eventually, Sean. Do you know that that could be the tagline for my life. He gets there eventually, bless him. He does all right. He gets there in the end, and that's all that matters. Roll of the eyes and a little bless him afterwards. That's about right. Matt bought all the tickets, says Warden. There we go. That'll be why. Yeah. Oh. Hopefully everything's... I hope I'm not too close to the mic and don't keep headbutting it. But yeah, hopefully all goes well. Just keep an eye on the screen, make sure everything's working as they exit the pit lane. I have done a refresh to make sure everything's working, but it should be all being well. I'll keep an eye on the chat, obviously. throughout. But I'll try and commentate as best I can, keep you updated on what's going on. If you've never been to Watchalong before, just think about them as we're all sat in my living room, all 430 of us, which is a terrifying thought. Sat in the living room or down the pub just watching F1 together and talking about it. So that's how it is. But I will try and keep you updated as best I can. Thank you very much, by the way. If you could subscribe before we get going, I'll do some shout-outs quickly. So thank you to Jaden Black for subscribing and joining the team. Really appreciate the support. Thank you to Glenn, to Richard, to Rodrigo, to Dave, to Lugo Silatin. Oh, that's poor. I'm so sorry. But thank you very much. And to Guy McGregor for your subscription. So please do subscribe. Don't forget to drop a like as well. We only 14 away from 100. Let's definitely see if we can get that one there. That'd be fantastic. And yeah, all that usual YouTube stuff. Let's give the channel some love today as we prepare for the next chapter. Del says, how many people can you fit in your shower? Walk with me, Tim reference. Oh, yes. He gets a lot of stick for that, doesn't he, Del? Weirdly. He gets quite a lot of stick for how many people can fit in the shower when he goes and does his hotel reviews. Really weird why people get angry about that. I think it's hilarious. I combined in my shower, you could probably get 5. 2 upstairs, 3 down, probably. I guess the question is, how big are they? That's a conversation for a completely different day, definitely. Edgar says, Sean, congratulations. I hope this means a full-time job and press pass. Are you going to do pre-season testing? Thank you very much, Edgar. Yes, pre-season testing. Yes, we're definitely doing that one still. And just as the car starts to exit the pit lane, the session gets going, I will say to every patron as well, but certainly to Edgar, a massive special thank you as well for your support over the years over on Patreon and super chats and all of that. It's really appreciated. And literally, it's not an exaggeration to say I wouldn't be here doing this without the support of those on Patreon and you, Edgar, as well. So thank you very much for your support. Really appreciate it, mate. And hopefully you stick around for the next phase of the journey. Can't wait to share it all with you. I'm very excited. I keep forgetting Leclerc is third in the championship in the way Ferrari have fallen off, says Sad Mariners fan who's not from Grimsby. Yes. I'll always add the not from Grimsby thing. Yeah, no, I was thinking that the other day. I expect to see Piastri there. I don't pay too much attention to be on the top 2, but no, you're right. You look at, I think a good reflection of one, how close the field is, but also how close Leclerc isn't on wets. Don't worry. Just I think that's is he? I'll just check in a minute, but it does say wets, doesn't it? He's not on wets. But yeah, good reflection of how close the field is, and also what a good job Leclerc is doing, contrary to what people may say elsewhere. But he's not on wets, is he? No, he's on softs. That is quite funny though. So just if you are just tuning in, Charles Leclerc is not on the wet tyre. He is on these softs. It now says super softs on the timing. So there you go. He's on the super softs now, which is an interesting one we've not had for a while. Thank you to is it Bryce J Richards for your subscription. Thank you to Harrison as well. Thank you to Minnie Cooper too for your subs. Really appreciate the support and looking forward to what comes next on the channel. So yeah, keep getting your subs in and I'll go back to the dashboard every now and again and shout a few out definitely. So thank you very much for your support. We're winding up for laps now. So Sainz just come out the final corner. I believe, will he be first? Or are we going to get a Haas in first? No, we've got those ahead are all on. I didn't realize on hot laps. Let's look at the Ferrari. So yeah, Zhou, Ocon, Gasly, Magnussen, Hulkenberg, Sainz, and now Leclerc on hot laps. Leclerc, who is not on the wets. Let's see what happens. We come through the first couple of corners. The first chicane and through Curva Grande for, I think we're looking at, is that Carlos Sainz we're watching? No, the helmets are the other way around this weekend, aren't they? So it's Leclerc, sorry. No, we are watching Sainz. No, it is Sainz. Sorry, I'm getting confused. Into the, I think it's the Rogier chicane. Murray Walker, I think, used to call it the Rogier chicane. So I've always called it that, but it's the Rogier or the Roger chicane or something like that. So I am dreadful at pronunciation, as you've noticed. Through the Lesmos and on the run to us. Oh, Sainz really wide on the exit there of the second Lesmo. That's going to cost him a lot of time. In fact, when he back off, I think he has backed off. Yeah. So here comes Charles Leclerc. Then he went very wide. Did Sainz there. See what Leclerc does. Up to Ascari. Purple, obviously, in the middle sector. Ocon goes fastest. Was that Gasly complaining of smoke coming out of his brakes? It was definitely an Alpine. Here comes Leclerc now. He's out of Ascari on the run to Parabolica, or is it the Michele Alboreto Parabolica, or Alboreto Parabolica, or Parabolica Alboreto? The final corner, turn 11. Nice through there, not carrying too much speed, but good speed still. Over the line, and he goes fastest on a 1:20.074. Hulkenberg and Magnussen well behind, 20.7 and 20.8 respectively. Ocon in 4th, Gasly 5th, Zhou 6th, and Carlos Sainz did abort that lap after running wide at the exit of the final Lesmo, the second Lesmo. What does he do? Let's watch a replay. So yeah, in he goes. Yeah, just clips the gravel, nearly loses it. Actually, good save. Had a moment, he said on the radio. That's definitely a moment there, Carlos. Definitely a moment. Oh, hell of a moment. Held that well, actually. But obviously abandoned the lap, understandably. CPB says, thanks for the kind words yesterday, Sean. Good luck with the channel. I'm rooting for Sainz today. Thank you so much, CPB. That was lovely as well. Your message was. So thank you very much for your support, mate. Like I said, live chat won't be the same without you and your crazy questions at times, but they're good stuff. The Variante della Rogier. Yeah, Rog. We'll call it Rog. You know what I'm like. I'm terrible at it. I really am terrible. So here's Verstappen now. He's starting his lap. He's already got through the first chicane. I could be really boring calling by their actual corner name, so turn 3, or their numbers, coming through Curva Grande or turn 3, down to that chicane. Rogers, I'm calling it at the moment. Sainz wants a floor checking, understandably after that moment, but Verstappen, 0.137 down on Leclerc in the first sector, so not a strong start there for Verstappen. Obviously, just need to get through Q1 here, so that's the most important thing. Norris picture in picture, apparently a little bit wide there for Verstappen. I think dust that might have been from Sainz's dust earlier, his little moment. Carlos Sainz pitted, or will pit surely, or will he go for it? No, he is pitting. Colapinto's about to come through and start a lap as well, so we'll keep an eye on that one, see what Verstappen does. But Verstappen has done a 26.6 and a 26.9. Perez goes 4th on a 1:21.1, 26.6, 27.3 and 27.1. So Verstappen matching Perez in the first sector, slightly quicker, faster in the middle sector, purple in the final sector, to go second on a 1:20.226. Here comes Lando Norris. He did a purple middle sector. He goes fastest on a 1:19.9. Purple middle and final sector. Pretty close, actually. Pretty comfortably clear of Verstappen in the first sector, a 10th and a half, getting on for 2/10 there, so not bad. Funny how you're 2 seconds faster than the F1 TV live stream. Am I? Sorry. Is that with the delay as well from YouTube? Because YouTube's a 10-second delay. Piastri locking up at turn 1 and going across the chicane there, so that's that lap ruined. Yeah, it is only a little lock up. There's no flat spot there. There's smoke coming up. Is it off his tyres or his brakes? Yeah, it's the tyres. They are hot tyres. Dan Stills. Piastri will have to go again. Sainz needs to go again. See what happens there. Lap time delete obviously for him there, but no. Tricky around chat as well. He was fully sideways, Clay. He was. Yeah, I didn't realise it when we were on board. But the off-board showed he was well sideways there. So a really decent save there from Carlos Sainz. So we'll see what Piastri does when he comes back round to have another go. After that mistake at turn 1, locking up and cutting the chicane. Was it his brakes, Michael? It looked like it's of his tyres, but I suppose they're all connected in that area. So if one's smoking, they're all going to look like they are, aren't they? So, but yeah, a lot of smoke coming off there, but he's all good. It's going to be this, like I said in the preview, big stops here. That run to turn 1 is so long and such a big stop, and then you've got the Curva Grande stop at the next chicane, and then you've got the long run to Ascari. So brakes are going to get hot here. He's just cruising through Ascari now. It's Piastri. We've not got any timing on the TV, so I'll try and let you know. 26.7 in the first sector, 26.9 in the middle sector. Obviously, all personal bests. He's 3/10 off Norris's time in the first, a 10th down in the middle. See what he does in the final sector. Now he comes through that final corner and see what he is doing. Is he going to... I thought he was pitting them for a second, but no, they do come over to the right, don't they, or the left as we look at it. Goes 3rd place on a 1:20.488. So lots of people getting their laps in early. We're watching George Russell at the moment. Albon moves into 6th place. 9/10 off the fastest time. And actually, Colapinto went 9th on his lap, by the way, 1.1 seconds off the pace. So that's a couple of tenths off his teammate, which, to be fair, is where he needs to be, really, doesn't he, this first weekend? So that's a really great start to the session for Colapinto. A long way to go yet if he does get through to Q2 and then maybe Q3. Who knows? We'll see what happens. John T is chatting to Max about stuff. I don't know what. RC says, I'm not at home, Sean. You're my qualifying guide. Oh, God. Stroll goes 8th. RC, there you go. No problems. 121.0 for Stroll. Alonso goes up into 5th place on a 120.6. George Russell. Is this a hot lap from George Russell? Yeah, it must be. I don't know. It just didn't look as rapid as it does off board. It didn't look as rapid on board as it does off board. So, yeah, it is a fast lap, and he goes up into 4th place on a 120.320. And here comes Lewis Hamilton, the last one to set a time, 120.4. He goes 5th place. Zhou has set a time. Sainz has done a time, but he's down in 20th. So he's got to go again after that moment at the exit of the second Lesmo. So he did do a purple first sector. So keep an eye out for Ferrari. Anushka says Ferrari on pole today. Come on. Hopefully a Ferrari pole. Why not? Perfect way for this qualifying Watchalong to go will be Ferrari on pole. I would enjoy that very much, obviously. Here goes Sainz. Purple in the first sector. 3 tenths up on Bottas, which is the time to get him through into Q2. But the 26.4 is a few hundredths quicker than Lando Norris. Getting on for a 10th quicker, actually, when you start to work that one out. So there we go. So he's quicker, is Sainz, in the first sector than anybody else. Obviously, with it being purple, that was obvious. Obvious, Sean. Keep up. Quite short sectors here, actually. So here he goes. 7 tenths on Bottas. Green in the middle sector. It's a personal best. But is a couple of tenths down on Lando Norris in that middle sector. So he's lost that time now. Gasly 3 tenths on Bottas. He's improving too. So this is... It will be interesting what Sainz does here. It is a second run on the same tyres, so he's not putting any new ones on. Over the line he goes. It's third fastest, 120.1. Russell says tyres felt nowhere, sliding massively. But yeah, Sainz goes into 3rd place, getting on for 2.5 tenths off the fastest time from Norris. Gasly goes up to 9th. Ocon, he goes into 10th. Sometimes those Alpines seem really inseparable. And other times there's a massive gap between them. Santiago says, go Colapinto. We're all rooting for Colapinto, really, today. It'll be... most of us, not everyone, but I think a lot of people quite like it when new drivers come in, do a great job on debut, and then can carry that on. So we'll be behind him today for sure. Viral Engine says, I think too much of a deficit to the McLaren on the straights for a pole today for the old Scuderia as well. You never know. You never know. They might get a cheeky toe. They might work something out. We'll see. But yeah, Norris at the moment. It's very early days. Obviously, we've only got 2 more sessions to go at the end of this one. But first blood, if you like, to Norris, 119.9. Track temperature, by the way, 51 degrees. Pirelli did say that they thought there might be a 50-degree track temperature this weekend, and they are there. 51 degrees track, 33.88 degrees air temperature. So no chance of rain. Probably no great surprise there, but it is hot out there. So I said it on Thursday, that could hamper Mercedes, the heat, so we'll see what happens. But they've been quick, so maybe not. But we'll see today. They're only 5th or 6th at the moment. But Colapinto getting ready to go out again. Final runs. We'll come up to the 5-minute mark now. Have you any more subs for me to shout out while we're in this little tiny lull? Thank you to... Oh, I'm going to be terrible with these. Could Marl Ben? You know who you are. Thank you so much for your support. Apologies for butchering that. And Mariek as well for your subscription. Appreciate that. Please do subscribe to the channel and drop some likes as well. Always helps the channel the algorithm, and I'm going to shout as many out as I can today for your subs. I might not get everybody, but I'll try my best to get as many as I can. So please do drop a like and subscribe as we watch Alex Albon coming through towards Parabolica now to go for his final run. Must be, yeah. He can go, charge up, go again, can't he, in 4 minutes and 30, but going in the gap. RC says road to 150k. That'd be amazing, wouldn't it? It's not going to happen today. But yes, that'd be great, RC. I'd love to do that at some point very, very soon. So, yeah. Kiefer says Red Bull have fell off so bad. Yeah, there's something at Red Bull, but I think everyone else just got so much better as well. So you put Red Bull's decline in with everybody else being so much better than they were, it makes maybe one look worse than it is, if that makes sense. Red Bull has definitely declined, definitely. I'm not denying that for a second, but everyone else has improved as well, particularly McLaren. And Mercedes this year as well have been a bit of a surprise in recent races, haven't they? So hopefully we'll get a Colapinto poll today to keep Santiago happy in chat. Albon's coming through, and he's improving in the first sector. The long shot looks like he's slow, but I'm sure he's not. It's yellow in the middle sector. Has he backed off at all? No, he's still pretty quick through Ascari. Don't know if he backed off there, so not very good in the middle sector from Albon. It'd be a shame if the Williams don't get through, at least one of them through to Q2. They've had to pace, so maybe we'll have to go again here. Coming through Parabolica now. One of them, it's not maybe not as good as it used to be. I don't know, a lot of corners aren't, but I still love Parabolica. He goes 8th to Albon, a 120.5. I don't know what the cutoff is. I'm sure they'll tell us shortly, but it's so close in there. Nobody really safe behind probably Verstappen, Russell, Hamilton, Piastri and co. will probably need to go again, or think about it at least. I don't know if anyone has said this before, but Colapinto is the first proper Argentine driver in F1 for 23 years since Mazzacane in 2001. Yes. What are we watching here? Replay. Verstappen. Unsafe release there from Piastri, definitely. No doubt about that at all. That was almost a crash. That'll be a reprimand for sure. For Piastri there. Do they do sporting penalties for unsafe release in quality? It's usually reprimands, isn't it? So I don't think there's any worry there. But yeah, the Mazzacane thing, I saw a lot of people mention that on Twitter, and a lot of sites were showing him in a Prost. I always remember Mazzacane, I'm sure I'm right, in that sicky yellow Minardi. Do you know that really that looked like if you're I don't know if it might be the same everywhere in the UK, I don't know. Or in the world, sorry, but in the UK you can get, like, when you're a kid, you get like a banana medicine, and that kind of horrible, gross, sicky, biley yellow car that they had. Ugh, it stood out, that's for sure. That's how I always remember Mazzacane. I don't know why. Just will. Perez goes 9th on a 120.5. He will need to go again. Will Sergio Perez. Yeah. He needs to go again, does Checo there, so he needs to charge up and go for it. He's tight, but he should just about do it. Colapinto is pushing hard, but he isn't improving at the moment. And Colapinto really wide out of Lesmo too. And that is, well, there's no point pushing on, mate, because that lap time we deleted. Hamilton's seat is hot again. But no, yeah, that is it for Colapinto, I think. That's a shame. He can get round, but I don't know if he's charged up to go again. There was a bit of a... Magnussen kicking up dust in Ascari and getting a twitch on the exit as well of the first part of Ascari. Very near make a mistake, but we've got Ricciardo, Colapinto, Tsunoda, Bottas and Zhou in the bottom 5. Can confirm, Rossi, it was disgusting. Just to let you know, that medicine. And then that's a Haas. Is that it is Magnussen wide? Or is it... he's off at Parabolica. In the gravel. Is he... What's he doing? Has he stopped? No, he's got going. He's got going now, but that was really weird. Obviously, trying not to go too deep into the gravel or to beach it, but that looked really steady through there. Weirdly, so that's going to ruin a lot of laps here. So Stroll hasn't improved. He's right on the bubble here. Ricciardo needs this lap to work. Ricciardo personal best, not personal best. Tsunoda only 15th here. Ricciardo's going to try this one, see what he can do. The checkered flag is out for qualifying 1. Ricciardo just sneaks in to 15th place on the bubble. Verstappen is going purple in the middle sector. Here goes Oscar Piastri. He moves up to 3rd place. At the moment, Tsunoda, Stroll, Colapinto, Bottas and Zhou are out. Is Colapinto pushing again? No, he's not. Colapinto is out. So definitely not Q2 and certainly not Q3, which is a shame. I think without that mistake at the Lesmo, maybe he'd have had a shot, but he wasn't improving anyway as Russell goes to 5th place. So a bit anticlimactic at the end there, partly because of Magnussen off at the final corner there. But yes, so Perez didn't need to go again, by the way. I was wrong. But I think that yellow really did affect a lot of people. I was just wondering what Magnussen was doing there as we look at Felipe Drugovich in the Aston Martin garage. I think that was Drugovich, wasn't it? Have I made that up? He's Drugovich now. Whoever he is, he's Drugovich now. I'm sure it's Drugovich. Oh yeah, it got really wide on the exit of the second Lesmo, far more dramatically than Carlos Sainz. Bounced across some of the gravel and then tried to keep going. But obviously at that point, you're going to get your lap time deleted anyway. And it wouldn't have been an improvement. So it's a shame, but he's beaten the Saubers, which doesn't sound like a big victory. But for somebody on their debut, not terrible. And what was he in the end? Half a second off Alex Albon, which given he had the off and didn't get his second run in, I don't think that's dreadful, but it's he won't want that to become a habit for sure. But yeah, that's my that's my analysis there. So we had Norris fastest on a 1:19.9, Charles Leclerc second on a 1:20.0. Don't know why I give him the full name, I always do. Piastri was third on 1:20.0, Carlos Sainz 1:20.1, Russell 1:20.1 as well, Verstappen 1:20.2, Lewis Hamilton 1:20.4. Yeah, Albon 8th 1:20.5. Sergio Perez, 9th on a 1:20.5 as well. Alonso 1:20.6. Gazia 1:20.7. Ocon also a 1:20.7 in 12th place. Hulkenberg 1:20.7. Magnussen 1:20.8. Daniel Ricciardo just scraping through by, 43 thousandths, 400ths of a second there. He was in 15th. Yuki Tsunoda 1:20.9 in 16th. He is out. Lance Stroll 1:21.0 is out. Colapinto with that mistake at the second Lesmo at 1:21.0 is out. Bottas is out, and Zhou is out as well. So Zhou 1.5 seconds off the pace, 4 tenths behind his teammate. Bottas not too far off Colapinto ahead though. So there we go. Start of Q2 will be delayed. I assume they're going to do some sweeping up of the old gravel that we saw kicked up there. Quite a lot going on. That's the pooch, by the way, has just come back from his haircut. He's been to the dog hairdressers today. There you go. That's what we're going to call it, the dog hairdressers. So he's just got home. So there we go. Yeah, so we have got a slightly delayed start to Q2, which again, just going to sweep up some gravel, I would assume. We'll see what happens. I'm not going to jump on the Colapinto made a mistake on debut and went wide at the second Lesmo and it cost him time and that means he's trash. I'm not going to jump on that one because Carlos Sainz also went wide at the second part of the Lesmo and he also made a mistake and had to go again. So, you know, if Carlos Sainz is making that mistake, anyone can. I'm certainly not surprised that a rookie on debut has made that mistake. So I'm not going to be tearing him apart for that. If he's doing that again every weekend, then we can have that argument then, but not as far as I'm concerned. From what I saw, you know, again, he's made that mistake. So he didn't get his second run in, which is his mistake, but he didn't get his second run in. Half a second off Albon, who did get his second run in. And in practice yesterday was in 2 tenths and was about 3 or 4 off in practice this morning. I don't think it doesn't look at this stage there's going to be any worse than Logan Sargeant was, but there you go. Let's not get into that. We'll not do the Lance Stroll debate today. That's a conversation for a whole other day. Exactly, Max. It has to be dog hairdressers. It's so much better as a name. So he's had his trim, so he'll be grumpy with me later now. Never mind the fact it cost me 65 quid, but you know, he'll still be Mardy. He doesn't know. No concept of money, these dogs. What's Colapinto doing there? So yeah, he just turns in, gets a bit of a slide, and then he's just a little slide through there's enough. Onto the gravel, bouncing across. Still open the DRS straight after that. That'll be a reflex thing, won't he? He'll have just done it. But yeah, that's these things happen. I just want to watch this unsafe release again. Max Verstappen comes out of the garage. He's fine. And then Piastri is just going to pull straight. Yeah. He is. I mean, the McLaren mechanic isn't looking at Verstappen, so hasn't seen him. And that is very close to contact. So I assume reprimand. I don't think a sporty penalty for that, but I can't remember what they usually do for qualifying. I know in practice that's definitely a reprimand, but there'll be a slap on the wrist. What's Magnussen done then? He just said, "Oh my God, man." So went wide, then was on the gravel for ages, wasn't he? But obviously don't want to get beached there, so I suppose that's wide, but just wide at Parabolica. So they are sweeping up gravel, apparently. That is confirmed. So Let's do some shout outs on the old subscribers. I've only had one more, but that's easy. So, is it Monkey Boy Music? Thank you very much for subscribing. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new. Lots of content to come over the next few days, weeks, months, and now I can say confidently years, which is exciting. So please do subscribe if you're new. Don't forget to drop a like as well. I will do shout outs for subscribers between sessions and at points during sessions as well. So just to give you all an extra thank you for subbing today. But yeah, 128 likes, 961 of you here. Let's get that up a little bit higher. That'd be amazing. Let's get well over 200. That'd be fantastic. So please do drop a like. I am Smiley says it'll be huge. Sorry for the championship if there's similar results in the race tomorrow's Q1. It would massively reduce Max's lead. Very true. Very true. I think that lead's going to keep getting chipped away at. It's just whether the problem for Lando Norris is more often than not you'd expect that Verstappen's going to make a podium, wouldn't you? So he's going to have to pretty much win every race and hope that Verstappen does have some off races at some stage if he does end up second or third place in a race. So, yeah. So Tsunoda was told your P16. He said, ridiculous, difficult to drive, so ridiculous. So, not happy with the car there, Yuki Tsunoda. John says just one DNF would blow it wide open. Very true. But actually, it's funny, isn't it, though, John? Because one DNF, let's say for Verstappen, could blow it wide open. But a DNF for Norris and Verstappen winning blows it the other way, doesn't it? It almost seals it for Max. So it's quite a weird situation we're in here, which is good. It means that we don't know which way it's going to go for sure. We'll see what happens with Piastri. I think that will probably be a reprimand, but we'll see. Don't know if I'm supposed to know who that is, but this is a celebrity on TV. There you go. In the Ferrari garage. Everyone's a Ferrari fan this weekend and always, for sure. I'm sure you're going to tell me off now and say you're not, but that's fine. I do think Ferrari will get a 1-2 in Singapore. Mercedes will close in that weekend as well, says Kiefer. So Ferrari Mercedes at the front? That'd be good, wouldn't it? Ferrari Mercedes at the front, and then McLaren and Red Bull in some order behind. That'd be good, wouldn't it? Charles will be a factor in the championship tomorrow, says Dave. Yeah, people take this is the other thing for Norris as well, because it's so close at the front. People are taking points off each other. It's a problem for Verstappen too. So we are going to be going in 3 minutes time for the second session. No red flag or anything like that that's caused this. It is just gravel on the track. They want to clear up between sessions. We have Magnussen off. Colapinto had an off. Sainz as well. Piastri cut the first chicane, but not really any gravel there. Maybe a bit of dust. So they're just cleaning things up a little bit. Ready for this second session. I think people talk about there. I'm trying. Sorry, I'm just sticking my nose into your conversations. Because I feel like it. Seeing what you're all saying, see if anything can pick up on. But who do you think is the biggest? What do you think is the biggest reason for Red Bull's downfall? Says Noel. See, the official word from them is essentially they've gone away with their update package that they're not sure about where it's gone wrong. So they've put something on the car, but they don't seem to be able to pinpoint what that thing is that's gone wrong. So they're trying to work out what they need to do to fix that and things like that. So there's that. But I think, like I say, even if they lose a tenth of a second, if you then get Norris or whoever gaining a tenth or two, that's a big swing and it all adds up. So I think it's almost a perfect storm here. Whatever's going on with Red Bull, with their updates and trying to get the car right, and maybe this car they've bought this year, which is so different to last year's car in a lot of ways, maybe there's an element there of they're still learning that car or learning about that car. But whatever's happening there, you then throw in the improvement of McLaren, Mercedes, and at times, just not often enough, Ferrari. It makes that fall off look even bigger, if you follow what I'm saying. If you don't follow what I'm saying, I'm so sorry. I'm trying my best to explain it. But sometimes it's difficult to get what's in here, in my head, out of the mouth for some reason. So, yeah. I have no idea, Corey. Jonty might be one for that one if you give him an about Dale Earnhardt Sr. Asking for an update there. I don't know. I know the name, but I don't know what's going on there, Jonty. So I don't know if you could let Corey know if he's still here. You might know. Yeah, there's also the Newey argument, isn't there, and things like that. But there's a lot of talented people at Red Bull. A lot of talented people. So whoever goes, there's going to be somebody who can step in. Okay, have I been duped on the stream? Apparently he's been dead since 2001, so there we go. That's your update, Corey. Yeah, I didn't know that, so there we go. I've been done on stream. Not the first time, and I can tell you now, will not be the last time. May he rest in peace. There you go. We are go, by the way, for the second part of qualifying. Slightly delayed, but we'll see. Actually, I hope Corey knows that, and I've not just broken that news in the most insensitive way possible. That's a good point. Thank you, thank you, Rossi. That's a very good point. Yeah, hope Corey knows. But yeah, we've got some cars out on track. Sainz, Leclerc, Gasly, Ocon, Ricciardo all heading out at the moment. They're all queuing at the end of the pit lane as they tend to do. And we'll see what happens. But I think, yeah, where are we? So we've lost Tsunoda, Stroll, Colapinto, Bottas, and Zhou. This is the fight for getting 3. Yeah, so I'm just checking, but I was just having a quick read of some stuff there, some interesting stuff actually. But yeah, I'm learning things. I learn all the time. There we go. Apparently, his death led to the introduction of the hands device. C64 is saying. So there we go. Max said it as well. So mandating, sorry, not introduction, mandating of it. Teo Pourchaire there in the pits with Sauber this weekend, as is Kimi Räikkönen for reasons. I think he's something to do with one of the sponsors, isn't he, this weekend? So just filling this little moment while we wait for Carlos Sainz and Co to come around and start their laps, and then we can see what's going on. What's Nico's starting position? We don't know yet, Rodney. We're just in Q2 at the minute, mate, and then we'll see end of Q3 or end of Q2. We'll see where he ends up. So we'll see. At the moment, he is P10. He is out on track, I believe. He is indeed behind Magnussen going for the toe. So we'll see if they can get a Haas into Q3. Nico Hulkenberg, probably the best bet for a Haas to get into Q3. No disrespect to Kevin Magnussen, but he's pretty good as Hulkenberg in that Haas this year. So we'll see. But through that first chicane comes Carlos Sainz and through Curva Grande at turn 3. He's going to be first to get a lap in, so every single one of these will be purple for now. Do you think Pourchaire could be in a second kick seat next year, says Mike? Apparently Bottas is favourite for that one. So Bottas and Hulkenberg at Sauber next year. So will Sainz get it right at the second Lesmo this time? He comes through very, very nicely. Yeah, very nice and close, right up to the edge of the gravel there, so he's all right. DRS wide open. Obviously, purple in the first sector. Looks like Charles Leclerc has the old gyro cam on today. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Yeah, purple and purple for Sainz. Obviously, this is the first one to do a hot lap in this session. Beaten by Leclerc in the middle sector. He's, what is he? A couple of tenths quicker, actually, to Leclerc in that middle sector. So we'll see what this all turns out to be in the end. Somebody else gone purple. Nico Hulkenberg's gone purple in the first sector. Maybe that toe from Magnussen really, really helped him out there. So watch out for Hulkenberg. Keep an eye on him, Rodney. Keep your eye. We'll see what happens here. He might nick into the top 10. So Sainz has 120.3. Norris goes second, but he hasn't started his lap yet. 120.2 as well, or just a little bit quicker for Leclerc. Purple in the middle sector. 0.03 of a second between the two Ferraris. Max Verstappen, not a purple first sector, as he comes through the second chicane. Through the Lesmos, 1. Looks okay. Looks far less understeering than his car looked at Zandvoort at times. I'll say that, but they were really struggling with the wind, weren't they, at Zandvoort last week, so that could be why. Ricciardo goes 4th, Gasly 5th. I'm assuming Gasly had a moment somewhere I backed off. Same with Ocon there in the 130s, nearly 140s actually for Gasly. So they are not really representative of anything. Hulkenberg goes 3rd on the 120.4. Only a tenth, just over a tenth or just under a tenth and a half if you want, off the fastest time. So great lap there from Hulkenberg. Perez slots into 3rd place. Norris purple in the first sector, Piastri purple in the middle sector, and Norris just slightly slower than his teammate through there. So Verstappen goes over the line and goes fastest on a 119.8, hooked up the final sector really nicely there. Oscar Piastri may beat that and does, 119.8 as well. Very, very close between those two. And Lando Norris is the last of the lead cars, I think, apart from the Mercedes, obviously, but those on their laps to come over the line. And Norris does a 119.7. So McLaren looking rapid here. 800ths between Norris and Piastri. A tenth and a half back to Max Verstappen. Leclerc and Sainz. Leclerc half a second, nearly 6/10 off. Sainz is 6/10 off, and Perez pushing 7/10 off the fastest time. So maybe we are looking at a battle between the McLarens, and maybe if he hooks a lap up Verstappen. But we'll see what the Mercs can do in just a few moments' time. Yeah, the toe is very powerful here, Kiefer. So we'll see. I'm just looking at the track map now. We know that Hulkenberg and Magnussen tried it. In fact, Hulkenberg and Magnussen swapped places. Are they going to go again and give K-Mag the toe, or is that just the way it's worked out on the in-lap? I'll keep an eye on them on the driver tracker. The Alpine drivers are definitely towing. Gasly seems to be towing Ocon. McLaren could have tried. They were close-ish on track, so maybe they've tried a tow as well. The Mercs aren't, which is interesting. So Russell coming down to turn 1 and Hamilton only just going over the line, so they're not really doing it, but he has got a bit of a tow. A slight one off Alonso maybe is Hamilton, so you can get it from there. Alonso one to watch, I bet, says Rossi. Sam says, I think Haas will be the threat people expected from Williams this weekend. So that's a prediction from Sam there. That's a good shout, potentially. That was a good lap from Hulkenberg and from Magnussen as well, to be fair. A couple of tenths back, but still a decent lap. Albon's currently coming around to complete his lap. Alonso is on his lap too, as is Russell and Hamilton, like I say. Anybody else? Everyone else is going to the pits now, so there might be a bit of traffic here, potentially. Albon through the final corner. Power on, very close to the gravel on the exit there, but looks pretty good. And he does a 120.4 and splits the Haas. 7th for Hulkenberg, 8th for Albon, and 9th for Albon, and 9th for Magnussen. Alonso quicker than Gasly. Hamilton only 2,000 slower than Norris in that middle sector, apparently. Is that right? It is. So this is a close one here. They might be coming back into this one. Is my audio playing up? Let me know. And if it is, I will reset things. So let me know in the chat if the audio's dropped out or is having problems. Is it okay now? Are we okay now? We had a bit of a glitch, but it's okay now. It's the PC, I'm telling you. It's shite, frankly. Or not, it's not. It did all right. It did okay. It's done okay for me, but it's well overdue a new one, I think. So if there is a bit of lag or anything, let me know. But I'll keep an eye on it. I can always reset the mic if needed. Bit quiet. Do you want me to shout? No. Yeah, I killed it with all my work, Jonty. It's terrible, isn't it? I tell you, it might be actually. That cable is hanging out. Do you know? Just keep me updated. I'll keep an eye on qualifying. Otherwise, I'll be sat here for an hour trying to sort this one out, see what happens. But hopefully, it's okay. Just an example of what happens with this PC when it's put through its pace. It's got a lot of stuff open, and it doesn't like it, so it tends to. Something gets the glitch, and it's not often the audio, but sometimes it can be. So we'll see what happens. We're not slagging Colapinto off based on one qualifying session, are we? Because that's pretty poor. Some drivers get a lot of passes, and one person on the debut shouldn't be being torn to pieces for a mistake that Carlos Sainz also made. On debut. Leclerc doesn't improve his time, but doesn't improve his position. Glad it's fixed, Kay. Hopefully everything stays fixed. Let me know if it keeps playing up though. I'll sit a bit closer. It might be cutting out the gate might be a bit high or something, but we'll see. I could sit, or not literally sit on top of it, and really, really close like that or something, and be freaky, but I'm not going to do that. Hamilton is fastest, though, during all those audio concerns. 119.641. 26.4, 26.8, 26.3. So pretty good there from him. Norris second, Sainz third, Piastri fourth, Verstappen fifth, Russell sixth, Leclerc seventh, Perez eighth. Leclerc says the car is not turning at all again, so issues there. And where did he get to? Hulkenberg ninth, Albon 10th. At the moment, we're losing Alonso, Magnussen, Gasly, Ocon, and Ricciardo. Yes. So I mean, look, who needs to go again? You'll probably see most of them out there now because it is quite close. They tend to use a used set towards the front, don't they? Actually, on that, used tyres for Perez, Hulkenberg, Albon, Alonso, Magnussen, Gasly, Ocon, and Ricciardo, according to the timing. But I don't know if that's because they went for second runs. So their first and fastest run might have been on a normal new set. So we'll see if that updates on the timing. It doesn't seem to be, so maybe everything's good there. We're coming up to 4.5 minutes left in this Q2 session. Gasly and Ocon and Gasly are coming out now. Magnussen not far behind Leclerc, just pitting as Hulkenberg comes out. So different programs here for qualifying for sure. But yeah, I think close. What's the timing? So Alonso needs just over a tenth to get through. Magnussen a bit more than that. A couple of tenths for Gasly. 3 or 4 tenths for Ocon. Quite a wedge of time actually for Ricciardo. So maybe they were on the used tyres, but at the moment we would lose Alonso, Magnussen, Gasly, Ocon, and Ricciardo. Kiefer says, "Imagine a Hamilton win." I will. Projected knockout time, by the way, 120.2. So based on that, everyone from Leclerc down will want to go. Everyone from Perez down will need to go. But I'll come back to you on that one, Kiefer, with imagine a Hamilton win at Monza next year. Could you imagine? The Tifosi will be quite happy this year because he's going to be a Ferrari driver next year, but it would be absolutely incredible. The scenes at Monza next year, or a Hamilton Leclerc 1-2, or a Leclerc Hamilton 1-2, something like that. That would be fantastic. Sachi wants to know if the F1 TV app is down for anyone else. If you're using F1 TV, let him know in the chat, and we'll get some feedback on that if we can, mate. Hopefully, there's no problems there. Apparently, Sky Sports F1. I've got sound on Sky Sports F1, so hopefully, yeah, give things a refresh, and hopefully they'll work out okay. Yeah, apparently it's quite a delay on F1 TV as well. That's been pointed out by somebody else earlier as well. So, don't know what's going on there. But we've got the Alpines. Well, no, the Alpines seem to be doing... This is interesting. So, Magnussen's going for a lap straight away. The Alpines seem to be doing sort of an extra out lap almost, an extra warm-up lap. Because they've both crossed the line to start the lap, but they're slow, and they're sort of both backing off through the first couple of corners to let people through. So, they're obviously doing 2 warm-up laps for some reason. Max says, will you be going to see Oasis? Were you in the queue? I will not be going to see Oasis, mate. I was the other side of the debate in the 90s, and will always be. Nothing. I don't have a problem with Oasis, but I just preferred Blur. I don't know, I'm probably in a minority there, but yeah. Some good Oasis songs, to be fair. Hulkenberg purple in the first sector, by the way. 26. So he was purple before. So... Magnussen not improving at all. Yellow and yellow, 2 tenths down actually, so I don't know what's going on there. He has been sort of around Alex Albon, so whether he's caught some traffic somewhere, I don't know. But Hulkenberg's on a good lap here. Purple in the first sector, 27.1 in the middle is only 3 tenths off the fastest time here. So this could be pretty good for Nico Hulkenberg. So if Rodney's still here we go, mate. See what happens. Hulkenberg over the line. He goes... Oh, no, that was Magnussen, sorry. Hulkenberg over the line, stays 9th on a 120.4. So it's that final sector where Hulkenberg losing a little bit of time, quite a bit of time. It wasn't even, not even a personal best for some reason. So there we go. Perez comes in the final corner. He needs a good lap here. He is improving through the first 2 sectors. Verstappen purple in the middle sector at the moment. Perez only 8th. On a 120.2, which is what we believe, according to F1, is the cut-off time. Verstappen does go to second place on a 19.6. He might be okay, Perez, but that's not comfortable at all. Although it might be a bit more comfortable now because Ricciardo only goes 11th. So, not comfortable for Perez in 8th place here. 120 point... No, he probably won't get round either to do another lap. In fact, he absolutely will not get round to do another lap. So slight improvement for Perez, but not by much. Albon here, personal best first and second sectors, 2.5 tenths off the fastest time from Lewis Hamilton, which if he was to continue that would jump quite up the timesheets here, but see what his final sector is like. Alonso, not great in the first sector, personal best in the middle sector. Ocon improving as well here. I'm not sure, but it's not really for Ocon, no. He's now done a pretty poor middle sector, to be fair. I don't know what's going on there. Albon goes 9th ahead of Hulkenberg, so I think Perez is okay here. Famous last words. Hulkenberg on the bubble. Alonso cross line, only 11th for Alonso. So that used to be a great starting spot, didn't it, in the midfield? First on the fresh tyres, but don't do that rule anymore. Ocon over the line, stays 15th place. Gasly's not improving. Magnussen not improving. Ricciardo neither. They're not on hot laps. So Perez is fine. But I think, unless, just double check everyone's coming across the line, I think we're okay. So we have lost Fernando Alonso, Daniel Ricciardo, Kevin Magnussen, Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon. Nico Hulkenberg and Alex Albon have snuck through into Q3. Perez 8th, Leclerc 7th, and then we've got 6th for Russell, 5th for Piastri, 4th for Sainz, 3rd for Norris, 2nd for Verstappen, and 1st for Lewis Hamilton. So Russell wasn't a lap in the end, but not going on with it. So he'll be straight in the pits, I'd imagine. No, Russell's going to complete the lap for a reason. I'm sure he'll have a reason. But there, that's it. That is the checkered flag from Q2. One more to come. 12-minute session, but we have in Q2 lost Alonso, Ricciardo, Magnussen, Gasly and Ocon, and we'd already lost Tsunoda, Stroll, Colapinto, Bottas and Zhou. P11 is better than I expected, said Fernando Alonso. So obviously happy with that, or as happy as he's ever going to be with 11th place Fernando Alonso. But like I say, that used to be back in there when the top 10 used to have to use their tyre that they got through Q2 into Q3 for the start of the race. That 11th place used to be quite lucrative in the midfield, didn't it? Because it was a chance to start on brand new, fresh tyres. So I sometimes see P11 and go, that's a great result. But Alonso seems happy or content with that one. But not amazing for Fernando there. Thank you to Eternal Cage, to Stoltzy, to, is it Yosel Usman? I'm so bad pronunciation. I'm so sorry. Yoshua as well. To Snayer, to Jay, to Young Jock 81, to Rene Rodriguez, to Thomas Duffy, and to Monkey Boy Music again for subscribing. Really appreciate the support. Like I say, if you are new to the channel, please do subscribe. I'll give you all a shout out if you pop up in the feed throughout the stream. If I miss anybody, I apologise. It's just because it doesn't come up on my feed from Streamlabs, but I'll try and shout everybody out on there during the stream. And do leave a like as well. We're 163 likes, 1,300 here. Come on, let's get that over 200. That'd be absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for your support. Really appreciate it as always. Let's deal with these spammers. I'll time them out initially, but if they keep coming back, I'll just block them. It's fine. Possibly bots, the internet site. But yes, please do leave a like and subscribe. Your support is massively appreciated as always. Thank you as well to Stefan and to Jake for your super chats earlier in the stream. Really appreciate that support as well. Thank you very much. As always. I was going to say something else and it didn't fall out my mouth, so I apologise. I really wish the F1 wasn't always on in the middle of the night. It says, I am Smiley. So I quite like the evening and nighttime races and the early morning races, but I don't think I'd fancy that every weekend. So I feel for you there. It's nice to have them as a novelty. But yeah, I appreciate that it's quite a European centric sport in a lot of ways, isn't it? When you consider that actually it's a world championship, but it's the birthplace, isn't it? It's always going to be the popular place. But I do quite like the late night races and the morning races. Again, like I say, as a novelty, I wouldn't want to do it every week for sure. Yeah, we'll just start blocking people for things that are spam. It's not bad spam; it's just annoying spam. It's also incorrect spam. That was all I had, says Ricciardo. So where did he end up? 12th place. That's not a bad result, actually, to be fair, for Danny Rick in the end. Just behind Fernando, Alonso. Not really a million miles away from Q3, so they'll be quite happy with that. He out-qualified Tsunoda as well. So good stuff there from Danny Rick. Gasly out-qualified Ocon. Worth mentioning that one. And who else did a good job there in that? Bottas got Zhou again. Alonso's out-qualified Stroll. I would say, obviously, but actually Stroll's not been horrifically bad this year in quali. Let's have a quick drink. So apologies if I go quiet for a second. Bradley Lord is chatting to Sky this weekend. When was the last time Christian Horner was on Sky, by the way? During the races, I mean. I remember last year a lot of people were, or over the last couple of years, people have been quite annoyed at how often he's appeared, but I can't think of the last time he was on the pit wall during a race. Is Q3 results the official qualifying positions? Asked Corey. Yes, it is. Yes. We're not quite there yet, though. Australia too. A few people in Australia chatting there. Where they're from. Kyson is from Singapore. Joshua says Nigeria. Cristiano says, nice job, dude. It's my first time here from Portugal. Thank you very much, Cristiano. Appreciate your support. I think I'll do some more shout-outs then quickly. To Bradley, to Hanny, and to Boom Booms Gaming. Boom Booms Gaming, there you go. Hanny Clark and Bradley Cox, thank you very much for subscribing. Like I say, can confidently now sit here and say lots of content to come over the next few years, which is so nice. It's been a bit at times lately, but we'll not get back into that. We did that at the start of the stream. Just to thank you for all your support again. Appreciate it as always. But we'll see. Just see if anyone's going to knows when. It doesn't matter when Christian Horner was last on Sky. I'm just genuinely interested when it was. Kuma is from Indiana. Malaysia for, is it Jaya? Joshua's from Germany. Seattle for Dragster Jeff. John T's from the moon. He's not really. Everyone say where you're from, but I'm using a flag emoji. Let's see if Sean can get them all. Ha! No chance. Latox is from Germany. Titans, California. Alia is from Cyprus. H9 Gaming is from Pakistan. Sartre is Sweden and Finland. You stood either side. I'm not sure. Yeah. MKN is from Malaysia. Daniel's from New Zealand. Alabama for Michael. Tristan is from Iowa. Rennie is from Thailand. Missouri for RJ. Is it St. Louis? Pi, Indonesia. Sata, Sweden and Finland. We've done that one. Australia for Rossi. Clanson's from Cornwall. Get in. Love Cornwall. Emma's from France. Mark is from the Netherlands. Oh, no. I'm not doing flags. I refuse. C64 is from England. I've got that one. I want to say Jar Adam. Is that... Oh, God. It's not... No, I'm not going to say it. I'll offend people in other countries. I know Canada. Germany as well. For K. John is from London, UK. Greece in the chat as well. We'll stop there with this one, I think. Some more for France as well there. But get your predictions in as well. We're just about to start Q3. We're going to do predictions, weren't we? I know the Texas flag. I thought, see, this is the thing. That was my genuinely, John T. That was what I wanted to go with. But I was also wondering, because it's a bit smaller on my screen, whether we were looking at there was Slovenia, there was I think Serbia came out for some reason. But yeah, so yeah, it is Slovakia. I should have just gone for it. I should have gone with my gut. But yes, please do pop your pole position predictions in the chat as Q3 gets underway, and we'll get back to the action on track now. Thank you for all your messages there. It put the chat rate up quite nicely, so thank you very much. South Africa for LD, hopefully a race in South Africa or some part of Africa soon. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Kailami would be great, but I don't know if there's an issue there with funding to get it up to standards for the FIA, but we'll see. Hopefully. Kind of bonkers we're not there, really, but there you go. That's F1 for you at its moments. Albon will be first to do a lap, by the way. Hulkenberg, Perez, Piastri, then Norris and Sainz and Verstappen. You're not a pirate, John T. You're from the moon. We're not getting into this one. I've just decided John T. is from the moon. Or Jupiter John T. would be quite cool. We've got another unsafe release here. So Verstappen Little bit, not really unsafe. Not as unsafe as the Piastri one for sure, but Verstappen did have to take some sort of evasive action there. Probably one of those that looks more dramatic than it actually was, but we'll see. So I won't read everyone out for today on the predictions, just because we're now starting the session and we've just done where everyone's from. So, but Oscar Piastri getting some love there. Norris, Hamilton getting quite a few. Lewis Hamilton getting a few picks there from people. Tristan, George, Hamilton, Norris, Leclerc for I am Smiley. Sad Mariners fan who's not from Grimsby said, I need a Lewis pole like I need air. There you go. Yeah, a lot of people saying McLaren Hamilton. Lewis Hamilton and not going with McLaren, actually. That's a surprise. Unsafe release for Sainz is noted. Leclerc, that was close, wasn't it, with the release there. Sainz or Norris, says Rossi. Renee says Hamilton, Piastri and Verstappen. I'm going to go with Norris. It doesn't change my prediction from Thursday, but I'll go with Norris. No toe for the McLarens, by the way. Ferrari aren't going to give each other a toe, but Verstappen is going to get towed by Sainz, and Leclerc is going to get towed by Verstappen. So those three are sorted together there. So they're going to be ones to keep an eye on here for sure. Faux show. I don't know why I did that. That was terrible. I apologise immediately. Yes, Piastri is going to be first to get his lap in here, followed by Norris. Obviously, Piastri is going to be purple. Can Norris better that on his first run? I'm just going to refresh the stream, actually, because I seem to be having a bit of a technical glitch there on my side. About 20 minutes behind for some reason on the stream. Do not close the stream, Sean. That'll be absolutely stupid. There we go. That's that one sorted. There we go. It's caught up for me. There we go. Not my TV stream, just the actual stream itself was playing up, so no idea what's going on there. Anyway. Yes, so Piastri purple. Kicking up some dust there on entry to Ascari, maybe a little bit wider than you might have wanted to go. You can attack. It's a bit weird this year because you can attack the curbs there more than you can in previous years because they've been changed. Hulkenberg fastest 120.4 used tyres. Albon now down to third, 20.8 on used tyres. Perez goes fastest 120 flat on used tyres as well. They are the three using used tyres. Everyone else on new tyres here. My prediction for pole, I've gone for Norris. We'll see what happens, Clanson. But Piastri there goes fastest. Purple and purple. Sainz purple in the first sector. What can Norris do as he comes to the line now? Does he go faster than Piastri? He does. 1:19.4 as well. So 35. 0.035 between them. Nothing at all. Sainz goes third. 1:19.7. That is on new tyres too. Verstappen is going to go across the line. Only fifth Verstappen on a 1:20.0. Leclerc over the line does a 1:19.7. So at the moment, we're yet to see what these Mercedes will do as they come through these final parts of the lap here. Russell is into Parabolica. 7.5 minutes to go in the session. I'm getting excited now and I can't stop watching. I'm going to start going all full-on crofty and get everybody wrong for you. But here goes George Russell over the line. It is a 1:19.5. Lewis Hamilton comes across the line and he does a 1:19.6. So at the moment, after the first runs there, it is looking like Norris versus Piastri for pole position. Perez actually faster than Verstappen on used tyres. Is that correct for Perez that he's on used tyres? Yeah. You must have had a problem with Verstappen because, I don't throw shade at Perez, but he's on used tyres according to the thing. So if he was on used tyres, genuinely, that's a bit of a surprise there. No, there's no red flag as far as I know. But yeah, and I'm just trying to work out now. So I want to see what happened to Verstappen there. Maybe traffic, he's going to say on the radio now. Had no grip at all on this set. Shocking. There is a profanity booted out of that one, but yeah, he's not happy. So we'll see why. Just a lack of grip, but he is slower, only marginally, but he is slower than Perez. Is Perez for possibly the first time this season, I think, out qualifying Max Verstappen, Perez unused. Yeah, that's what surprised me. But at the moment, I would say it's McLaren versus McLaren for pole. Russell and Hamilton not a million miles away. A couple of tenths is quite a bit in F1 terms, I know. So Verstappen through... big slide through Parabolica on entry there. So that is where some of that time's gone. But that is not going to account for 6, nearly 7 tenths of a second. So, yeah. Wow. Thank you for dealing with that one, Annette. I was just going to come to that now. We'll definitely... Oh, you've already done that. Thank you, Annette. Thank you. I don't know why. It's bots. It's not individuals. So it's just one of the things we have to deal with, I'm afraid, on the internet these days. Had a couple the other day on Twitter. I put a post out about a safety car crashing. I just said, oops. And 2 people were like, read the room. It's like, what room? It's like you read their profiles, like, okay, bot, whatever. 5 minutes to go in Q3. So if you are just tuning in, we've lost Alonso, Ricciardo, Magnussen, Gasly, Ocon, Tsunoda, Stroll, Colapinto, Bottas and Zhou. Still in are the top 10. They're on the screen now. Norris is currently fastest on a 1:19.4. Piastri is second on a 1:19.436. Nothing between them, really. George Russell, a little bit further back in third place. Hamilton exactly 2 tenths off the fastest time by Norris. He's in fourth. Sainz exactly 3 tenths off the fastest time by Norris. He's in fifth. 3 thousandths further back is Charles Leclerc. And then we've got the 2 Red Bulls, Sergio Perez, 6.5 just over tenths off the fastest time. That was on a used set of tyres. And Max Verstappen, even slower, a hundredth of a second further back on a new set of tyres, but just had no grip and had a little mistake at the Parabolica. But that's not all that time there. Hulkenberg 9th and Albon in 10th place. They're battling to be midfield pole there, aren't they? 9th place. But they both set their time on the used tyres. So, yeah. I have nothing more to add there. They're all going out now with some new tyres. Here we go. This is going to be interesting now. Yeah, thank you, John T. Have some fun, mate. Have some fun. Only if they deserve it, though. Don't go banning, I don't know, Max for being a Chelsea fan or something. That's unfair. That's what the old mods used to do. I'll probably do a bit of an unblock purge at some point. If that makes sense, or an amnesty. Sorry, Max. Yeah, just because a lot of the old mods used to, and if you've been here from the start, you know who I'm talking about. The old mods used to block people for exhaling in the wrong direction. Thank you to Saigani Force Prod for subscribing, and to Vashek as well for subbing. Really appreciate the support there. Thank you for joining me on this crazy journey and the next chapter of our adventure here on the F1 world. I'm trying to make it sound really exciting. I'm excited. I'm so excited for the future. It's ridiculous. I spent most of summer not sleeping because of the stress of it all, and now I'm not sleeping because I'm just excited about what's next. So there you go. You did Clansome, yes. That was somebody did that to you, and I think you reached out on Twitter, didn't you? And I was like, I have no idea, and I checked, and I don't think you've done anything wrong at all. So there you go. Clansome was given freedom on the channel. Right then, 2 minutes and 20 to go in this final qualifying session. I've had a drink, so I should be good here. Lando Norris is ahead of Oscar Piastri on track. There's a bit of a gap between them at the moment, so I don't know what is going to happen here with the toe. Kaiju says, I'm a bit late, but how would you rate Colapinto's debut qualifying performance, all things considered? I think all right, actually. Again, I think looking at practice the weekend as a whole, he's not been as far off Albon as maybe some would have predicted. Obviously had that mistake at the second Lesmo, but Carlos Sainz made the same mistake as well. So experienced drivers are doing it. So someone on their debut, their rookie weekend. I'm not going to judge them too much, but I think an okay start. I think better than many would have predicted for sure. A lot of people thought he was going to be diabolical, and he wasn't amazing, but he's not been bad. So I think early days, but we'll see how he goes. Hope he does well. Tomorrow will be interesting. First F1 race, but Max Verstappen comes through the first sector. It's not a personal best. He's only 8 thousandths down on Lando Norris in the first sector, but it's still not a personal best from Max Verstappen. So he's on his flying lap right now. Is he first to do it? He's cut behind Lewis Hamilton here on the run to Ascari. Perez just ahead of that.
So Verstappen might get a bit of a toe here on the run to Parabolica. Maybe. He's well down, though. He's a couple of tenths down Norris in the middle sector. So this is going to have to be one of the greatest final sectors Verstappen's ever put together, I think, if he's going to get anywhere near pole position. But Red Bull, again, just do not seem to have the pace. And everyone getting out of the way quite nicely there in the end, including Perez, interestingly enough. But this might not be any improvement from Verstappen. He's yellow and yellow. In the first and second sectors. Does he improve at all? He does a little bit to a 120.0, but it's only 7th place for Max Verstappen, who basically stops on track. He doesn't want to give anybody a toe there. So really, the battle is between the two McLarens right now. Sainz purple in the first sector. I eat my words straight away. Norris purple in the middle sector. Piastri not improving at the moment. But Norris is in the middle sector. We'll see what happens in Piastri is not improving at all. So this is looking at the moment as though it is Norris' favourite here. He is improving. Sainz a personal best and a 10th up on Lando Norris. Carlos Sainz is in this. As long as he doesn't cock this up in the final sector, do not let me get too excited, chat. Don't let me get too excited. Lando Norris does improve 700ths of a second quicker than his personal best and pole time. So Norris is on provisional pole. Oscar Piastri wasn't improving and doesn't improve. He stays second place. It's all McLaren on the front row. What can Carlos Sainz do? Only third, a 119.467, and Charles Leclerc goes third, a 119.461. So it's McLaren, Ferrari at the moment. It's like the 90s all over again. What can Russell and Hamilton do in those Mercs? Russell on the right-hand side that runs Parabolica, interestingly enough. What's he going to do? This is going to have to be one of the greatest final corners I think George Russell's ever done. A little twitchy on exit, but not too bad. He's chasing a 119.3 from Norris. It's a 119.4 for Mercedes, George Russell. Don't know why I said it like that. And Hamilton only 6th. So Russell goes 3rd. Hamilton 6th. The Ferraris are sandwiched between the Mercedes. But it is the second race in a row that Lando Norris takes pole position for McLaren. Oscar Piastri, second place, a 10th back in the second McLaren. George Russell 3rd. Only a few thousandths of a second actually off Piastri's time. So a good effort there from George Russell. Charles Leclerc in 4th place again, 0.134 off, so very close there. Sainz just 6 thousandths slower than his teammate in 5th place. Hamilton a couple of hundredths further back. There are 400ths further back in 6th. But Max Verstappen only 7th place, nearly 7/10 of a second off the pace of Lando Norris. And Sergio Perez, actually not far off his teammate at all there, in 8th place. Alex Albon, he's pitted, he's 9th, and Nico Hulkenberg in 10th place. So massive congratulations to Lando Norris. Great stuff for Piastri as well. In 2nd place. That's an all McLaren front row. But really, I mean, Red Bull 7th and 8th. I'm not surprised by Lando Norris being on pole. I'm not really all that surprised about McLaren getting the front row. But 7th and 8th for Red Bull. Wow, that's a surprise. I thought they'd be much more competitive this weekend in Zandvoort. Based on that, maybe the temperature, track temperature, maybe playing a part in that. It has dropped a little bit to 26.5 degrees, but it's still hot. So maybe there's part of that. I don't know. We'll find out in their post-quali quotes, I'm sure. But thank you for everybody for your support during this stream, obviously. I know that once, I'll go through the order in just a moment again. In fact, I'll do the order first, actually. So to confirm the grid, in full as it stands, pending any potential penalties. I don't think maybe Piastri for unsafe release, but I think that'll be a reprimand more than anything. But keep an eye on it. But as it stands, Lando Norris on provisional pole position with Oscar Piastri in 2nd, George Russell in 3rd, Charles Leclerc 4th, and Carlos Sainz 5th. 0.140, so getting off for a 10th and a half, separating the top 5. Very close in there. Lewis Hamilton 6th place, Max Verstappen 7th, and Sergio Perez 8th. As I say, 7/10 of a second off the pace of the McLarens. That is painful for Red Bull. Alex Albon, a strong 9th place for him, and Nico Hulkenberg in 10th. Fernando Alonso 11th place with Daniel Ricciardo 12th, Kevin Magnussen 13th, Pierre Gasly 14th, Esteban Ocon 15th. They're eliminated in Q2. And then Yuki Tsunoda 16th, Lance Stroll 17th, Franco Colapinto 18th, 19th for Valtteri Bottas, and Zhou Guanyu in 20th. They got knocked out in Q1. So that's your order. I'll go through it again in full in just a few minutes, and we'll do a very little bit of chat before we finish, just some Q&A about the session or whatever.
But we'll wrap up a little bit earlier today just because we started earlier. So, yes. But yeah, if you are, a lot of people do tend to disappear now. So if you are disappearing, please do drop a like before you go. 1,200 of you here, 200 likes. Let's get that a little bit higher. That'd be fantastic. Please do subscribe. Don't forget to drop the like as well. And I'll do some quick sub shout outs as well before anybody disappears. There's only one more. Thank you to Panagiotis for subscribing. Really appreciate the support. So yeah, please do subscribe if you're new, and before you disappear, don't forget to drop a like. Lots of content coming over the next few days, weeks, months, and it's nice to say this, years as well. Sergio Perez, by the way, what's he going to get wrong here? Through the second Lesmo. Oh, he's wide at the second Lesmo. That's why Checo didn't improve, really. He was wide at the second Lesmo. Not quite as dramatically as Sainz and Colapinto, but still wide nevertheless. So that's why Sergio Perez did not improve. So Max Verstappen also a little bit wide in Lesmo 1. Kicks up some dust on the entry to 2. And was he wide as well? Oh, he runs into Perez's dust. Yeah, there you go. So I'm not saying that's an excuse, but not the cleanest of laps there for either Red Bull driver. Let's just say that. So yes, likes and subs, like I say, and I'll go through the order in just a moment. And then we will wrap up for the day. So get your questions ready. If you've got anything you want to ask me about the session or whatever, or tomorrow or anything like that, then get those ready and we'll crack on with that. I'm just going to have a quick glug of drink. See you later, John C. Talk to you soon, mate. I probably in 3 minutes or something, but talk to you soon. Just get the drink ready for the timestamp there. And a little pause. So to confirm then, Lando Norris for the second race in a row is on pole position for McLaren at Monza, a 1:19.327. He finished the session just over a tenth ahead of teammate Oscar Piastri, 1:19.436 for him. George Russell, decent lap from him, not too far off actually Piastri, or even pole position, a 1:19.440 for the Mercedes. Charles Leclerc fourth for Ferrari, 1:19.4, and Carlos Sainz in fifth on a 1:19.4 as well. Just 0.06 of a second between those two. Lewis Hamilton getting on for 0.2 of a second off the fastest time by Norris. He's in sixth place at 1:19.513. Probably one of the biggest surprises of the day, actually. Max Verstappen, only 7th on a 1:20.0, nearly 0.7 of a second off Norris. So worrying signs for Red Bull for the rest of the weekend. Maybe better on race pace, we'll see. Sergio Perez in 8th place, just a few hundredths further back from his teammates. Alex Albon, 9th for him, getting on for a second off the pace, and Nico Hulkenberg just a few hundredths further back for Haas, rounding out the top 10. Big stories there, like I say, Verstappen and Perez down in 7th and 8th place, or more with respect, Verstappen down in 7th and Perez in 8th. A lot of people would have predicted that at the start of the day, so maybe not a great shock there, but not the cleanest of laps for either Red Bull driver, to be fair, so maybe something there, but that's not going to account for 0.7 of a second. That's a big gap. Fernando Alonso was knocked out in Q2. He starts 11th on a 1:20.4, with Ricciardo also on a 1:20.4 in 12th place. Kevin Magnussen 13th at 1:20.6, with Gasly 14th and Ocon in 15th place for Alpine. So not a lot between the two Alpines there, 0.03 of a second-ish. Yuki Tsunoda was knocked out in Q1, 1:20.9. Lance Stroll also out in Q1, a 1:20.1. Franco Colapinto on debut was doing all right and made a mistake at the second Lesmo and went extremely wide, kicking up a lot of dust. Was it the first Lesmo or the second? It was the second Lesmo, wasn't it? Same one as Sainz. And it was. Yeah, second. I don't know what I'm going on in my head. Bottas was in 19th place, not 9th. He'd love to be 9th. 19th place on a 1:20.1. And Zhou Guanyu 1:20.4. Just double check. Yeah. Yes, sorry, second Lesmo. Yeah, it was second Lesmo for Colapinto, not the first one. Sorry. Having a moment there. I don't know why I was having a meltdown there about that one, but yes, not bad from him on debut, but he won't want to do that every weekend. So we'll lay off judging him too much. See how he gets on tomorrow in a race. Could be interesting. So we'll do some questions as we do at the end of these, and then we'll call it a day from there. So we did start a little bit early today, but thank you for all your support. Yes, they're all in the pits, Rihanna. They are all in the pits. Session is over. We're done. So they are all in. Let's see. Any questions? We'll answer those ones. Max off to IKEA. Can't think of anything worse, mate. Try and get yourself some meatballs while you're there. But try and enjoy it if you can, mate. Speak to you tomorrow. Thank you very much. You don't remember all the moves Albon pulled like a madman while at Red Bull? ? Says Tony. Yeah. I'm not sure what that's got to do with Albon and... I might be missing a point here.
Unless you're having a separate conversation, maybe, I don't know. But yes, I won't do the race tomorrow, Hanny, but I will be live after the race with Stuart, aka Chamber, about 5 p.m. UK time to wrap it all up, and that's a good couple of hours there to talk about it all. So like to watch the race just in case. Yeah, if I watch the race on a watch along and then try and do a reaction afterwards, it's an absolute nightmare. So that's why I do that one. Session is over. Virtual Vortex all done. Norris on pole, Piastri second, and Russell in third. Looks like that's a separate conversation I'm getting involved in, so apologies there. Looking for any questions, but I think yeah. Kiefer says, do you think Lando already won the championship? I don't think so. I'm still not sure on the drivers. There are going to be races between now and the end of the season where Red Bull will be strong and McLaren won't be as strong. So that will certainly be... it's going to switch. It's going to ebb and flow, I think. I think McLaren have... Obviously, you never know in F1, but I think McLaren, unless something goes catastrophically wrong, have probably won the constructors. They are comfortably the favourites at the moment, but I'm not convinced Verstappen will lose that lead in the drivers. So I think Lando will be second in the drivers, but I do think McLaren are going to win the constructors. That's looking ominous now, isn't it? This pace, definitely. I'm trying not to pick the Albon conversation. Like, people talk about Albon's moves when he's at Red Bull and things like that, and talk about underrated. I do think Albon gets he's a little bit underrated, but I think, and I'm guilty of that as well. But I think part of it is that he came to Formula One at the same time, didn't he, as Norris and Russell. And I sometimes wonder if that, when they're the drivers you're coming through with, you know, maybe that takes a bit of the shine off his off his hype, if you like, or his rating, whatever. I don't know, but yeah, I do like Albon. He's impressed me at Williams, and it'll be interesting to see how he gets on alongside Colapinto, or Colapinto gets on alongside him. Yeah. Just looking for questions. I think, yeah, I'm going to stick with that prediction. I still think Max will take the drivers, but I think it could go down to Abu Dhabi. In fact, it probably will go down to Abu Dhabi, to be fair. Constructors can be wrapped up quite quickly by McLaren at this rate as well, looking at it. Music to my ears, that's a very worrying opinion, because the 2024 has been the oldest grid in F1 for over 25 years, stagnating with another junior driver. I feel like I'm entering into another conversation here. I think I am, yes. I'm going to try and avoid this one. You guys, you can chat amongst yourselves, but I'm trying to pick this out. Will Red Bull's DRS be any use at Monza, says Clansom? That advantage seems to have fallen away quite a bit, doesn't it? It was quite a big deal last year. But Red Bull's big problem tomorrow is they're going to need their DRS to be powerful, because they're going to spend a lot of time in a DRS train. Potentially. What is going on in my WhatsApp? Okay, that looks like a complete and total scam for sure. Let's not click on that. Sorry, getting a random load of WhatsApp things from Artificial Intelligence Trading Club. That's just going to get blocked for sure. Sorry, I thought I had a load of like emergency messages coming through or something, but it wasn't. It was just some spam on WhatsApp. Will anyone get a grid drop for tomorrow, says Looney Classics? I don't think that Piastri is being investigated for an unsafe release, but I'm sure that's generally a slap on the wrist and a reprimand. I'm not sure he'll get a sporting penalty for that. It was quite a bad unsafe release in the sense that there was nearly contact with Verstappen, but I don't think that'll be a penalty for sure. So it might be, but I think it'll be a reprimand more than anything, unless I'm remembering things wrong. But in the race, that's a penalty, obviously, but in qualifying, I'm not sure. So, yeah. I think Williams should bring back the Union Jack livery with an additional... yeah, let's not go let's not go there, C64. I nearly read it. I'm going to stop. You nearly have me. I'm not doing it. We're not doing that one. Yeah. So, yeah, no grid drops as far as I know. And do you think the recent pace, Ferrari pace is legit or just turned up engines for Monza, says Cram. They've bought 9 performance updates to Monza. There are some that are track specific. Teams do, I'm sure, as you know, bring track specific updates to obviously certain tracks. And that's something that Ferrari have done. So I don't think it's that the engines are turned up. I think the update seems to be working nicely, but also they focused on Monza setup wise and bringing things in as well that are specific to the track. So I think that's what this is. Do you know what is interesting, actually? No, Ferrari have jumped Red Bull this weekend on pace over one lap at least, but they're still 4th and 5th. So they just don't seem to go anywhere. Do you know what I mean? Somebody else drops off, but then somebody else gets better, and they always end up a little bit. It's just, it's infuriating. But I don't think it's that they've turned things up. It's that the updates are working, and the track specific ones will help them as well. So it is. They want to win every race. Ferrari, of course, they will. Every team wants to, but they'll want to win Monza big time. So that's why the updates have come this weekend. So. Race director's notes say fine for the team. So there we go. Thank you, Clansum. So it's likely to be a fine. Annette says maybe you'll get an offer to buy Alpine. Yeah, maybe. Does anyone want to Buy Alpine? if they're sending out offers to buy the team, have they got problems there? I know a certain Mr. Andretti might be interested in picking up the team. Maybe not. We'll see. But yeah, I know. I think I heard that Nico Rosberg was saying something about. I don't know. I think he got an offer, an email or something like that. I don't know. Very, very weird. I'll deal with that spam later. It's just annoying me because it keeps flashing my phone. Just turn notifications off so I don't get any more. Buy Alpine for £1, just like Braun bought Honda to make Braun GP. Yeah, I could do that. I could spend £1 on buying Alpine. I'll run Renault engines though. Why not? I'll partner. Renault can still pay for all that side of things. I ain't charging them now. Is this the final result? Yes, it is. It is the final result. Lando Norris on pole, Oscar Piastri second, and George Russell in third. Leclerc, Sainz, Hamilton, Verstappen, Perez, Albon, and Hulkenberg making up the top 10. So yeah, all done for quali today. Race tomorrow is 2 p.m. BST, 3 p.m. track time, and I'll be live with Stuart shortly after that, about 5 o'clock ish, for the race reaction, which I'm looking forward to tomorrow. As always good to talk to Stuart, just generally. Any more questions? If not, we'll wrap it up for today, as the viewers keep going down. Always happens at this point. Not everyone wants to hear the waffle. They just want to stay for the updates, which is absolutely fine and understandable. But I'm just going to see. Haas in 10th and 13th, not bad. For a team that almost didn't get here, yeah, good. Sorry, it took me a second to register that there. Yeah, no, that they were always going to get out of the Netherlands because they paid the money. But I know what you mean. They were held up a bit, weren't they? But 10th place for Hulkenberg, not a great surprise to see him in that kind of area around the fringes of the top 10 or in the top 10. I think Magnussen much better today in 13th place. So I'd be interested to see actually if either of them lost out with the toe. Did Magnussen not get, for example, the perfect outlet because he was towing Hulkenberg or something like that? It'd be interesting to see what they say on that one in the next few hours as they get all their stuff out. So what's your predictions for tomorrow then? Let's do that before we go then. What are your predictions for tomorrow? I think we're in for a good race. I do think from what I've seen, and I've not had a great opportunity to look at the data properly, but I think there is a better race pace from Red Bull tomorrow than they had, but I think being stuck in DRS trains potentially is going to be tough, and also getting past Hamilton, Sainz, Leclerc, Russell, Piastri, Norris is not going to be easy. So I'm not going to go with the Red Bull win tomorrow, which was my prediction Thursday. Obviously, that's what I'll be scored on for my awful season score. At more than 100 points available, I've got like 30. It's atrocious. Right, last time I went for Piastri, and I was so wrong. It was ridiculous. So I'll go Norris this time again. I'll be boring and go with the pole sitter. But as you'll know, if you've been here long enough, you'll know that Piastri is one of the drivers I support, if you like. So I'll be hoping for a Piastri win. But I think you all know what I'm really hoping for tomorrow, and that's that Leclerc and Sainz have epic race pace, cruise past Russell, Piastri, and Norris, and disappear for a nice Ferrari 1-2. But I'll go with Norris, the pole sitter today. No worries, Annette. Thank you very much. Thank you for your message yesterday, Annette, by the way, in the comments to the video. That was really lovely. So thank you very much. It's you're a huge part of the community and we love you to bits. So thank you for your support over the last gestures randomly at when you joined. I think you were pretty early on that actually in the 7-year journey. So thank you very much. As always, appreciated.
C64 says says Pastry actually. Piastri, Russell, and Norris. And it's won by turn 1, or Piastri gets the lead by turn 1, and Russell gets through as well. Yeah, Norris not great at the start, so maybe I've gone wrong there, but he got a bad start in Zandvoort and still won. So we shall see. Next gone with Piastri. Michael says Norris, Hamilton, and Piastri. Ross says I'm looking at Ferrari because who knows what will happen between the top 3 at turn 1. Who knows what will happen with Ferrari strategy as well. They might be the only ones to try an 18-stop strategy. You know what they're like. But going with Sainz because Leclerc already won at Monza with Ferrari. Tony says, watch how Piastri beats Norris into the first corner, leading a good portion of the race, only to magically end up behind Norris. No comment. Annette says, you're welcome. Sean, 5 years. Is it 5 years? Is it as many as that? No, that would be right. No, 5 years is right. Sorry, I'm just having a moment. Sorry, yeah. What about the Bortoletto-Hauger finish? I didn't catch that one, Kaio. But I know where they finished, but I didn't see the actual race itself. I was busy getting the stream ready. I had to have a wacky morning, so yeah, didn't catch that. Probably, I assume F2 was epic as always. No problem, Alan. Thank you very much for joining us. Hannon has gone for Leclerc. Leclerc as well is in the chat there, not the Leclerc. I home win Norris Piastri second. Norris Piastri. I've complete hope. There we go. I hope a win for Norris or Piastri, no matter who, and a Ferrari. So you're wanting Norris Piastri on the podium with a Ferrari. I could live with that. A Ferrari up there again would be nice, definitely. But yeah, we'll leave it there then. Thank you very much, everyone, for your company, I guess, this afternoon. It's been a pleasure as always. Thanks for all your questions at the start of the stream as well, and for all your really nice messages over on the old YouTube comment section. Really do appreciate that one. Like I said, it's quite overwhelming, but also really, really nice. Overwhelming in a good way. So thank you very much, and looking forward to the next, I don't know, 30 years. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how long it keeps going. You might all have disappeared by then and hate the channel and never want to watch it again. So we'll see. But yeah, thank you very much for your support, and I can't wait for this one for the Italian Grand Prix tomorrow is what I was going to say. Not for the next one, for the Italian Grand Prix tomorrow. I'm just looking at the grid while I'm saying that and just trying to see if I can pick up. I think Albon's got a shot at points tomorrow. That could be great. Be interesting what Colapinto does. Alonso in 11th might surprise us. Hulkenberg in 10th. That's going to be a great fight, actually, isn't it? Albon, Hulkenberg, Alonso, Ricciardo in there. That could be a lot of fun. And see what the Red Bulls can do. But yes, we're going to wrap it up there. Thank you very much for tuning in. Thanks again for your support. Also, a massive shout out to everybody on screen now and everybody who's ever been a patron here on the channel. The Patreon page will close at 11:59 p.m. I'll do it before I go to bed tonight. So I won't be able to take any more support on there, but I appreciate each and every one of you who has supported the channel in any way, shape or form. If not on Patreon, then even just likes and comments and shares and all of that business. Really do appreciate it. So thank you so much for the last 7 years, and here's to the next 7. So looking forward to the future. And of course, tomorrow's race. On that, I will be back tomorrow at around about 5 p.m. UK time with Stuart to give you some race reaction. Then I'll be back on Tuesday with whatever we're calling the video, looking back at the weekend, possibly winners and losers. We'll see how we go. You can follow me on social media at F1 Word on X and Facebook, I believe, in the F1 Word on Instagram. There will start to be some stuff over there soon. I promise on that one. That's going to be happening over the next few days, weeks, months, whatever. And don't forget to subscribe as well if you're new. Thanks to everyone who has. Have I missed anybody who subbed today? Thank you to Mike Kavanagh for surprising, but also subscribing. Thank you very much for your sub. And don't forget to drop a like as well. We are very close to 300. 40 more will get us under 300. Can we do it? Horner's on Sky. Yes, he is. There we go. That answers my question from earlier. But yeah, please drop a like before you go. It will be massively appreciated. But as ever, thank you for watching. I've been Sean. This has been the F1 Word. And until next time, goodbye.